Alright, folks, it's 9:01. We're gonna open the Board of Supervisors meeting up. Mr. Bradford, would you mind giving us an invitation?
Yes, sir. Big all saying, love about his. Oh, gracious and wise Father, we thank you this morning, oh God. We just thank you for allowing us to see another day, to be able to look at your grace and mercy that you have spared upon us. And Father, we come to you this morning with humble hearts, oh God, asking you, oh God, to look after our elected officials, Father. Continue to give them wisdom from on high. Father, continue to strengthen them closer together that one may not fall far from another. And Father, we just thank you right now, Lord God, for what you have done in this county, in this city, in this state, and in this country, Father. Continue to cover all our officials, our first responders, our kids, our teachers, and everyone that's under the sound of my voice. Father, we can continue to pray for new business that's opened up in this county, that it may prosper, that you may get the glory. Father, we just ask, oh God, you continue to touch finances. And Father, just let Adams County be the best it can be, to be a set example for this state to follow. And Father, we just ask all these prayers in the precious Son of Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. We're gonna follow with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I need a motion to approve the docket. Yes, sir. Oh, sorry. Ricky, are you here? Roll call. Mr. Gray.
Present.
Ms. Hutchins.
Here.
Mr. Gaines.
Present.
Mr. Middleton.
Present.
Paige Dean.
Present.
Randy.
Present.
Mr. Slover. And Ms. Washington.
Present.
And I am obviously here. I need a approval for the docs or a motion.
So
Moved by Ms. Hutchins. Second by Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. Okay, I'm gonna go straight to, I want Mr. Gray or Ms. Hutchins, either one or both, to maybe give an update for the Sandy Creek situation we had out there on that road and property out there, if you don't mind.
Okay, we did go to Washington. We did speak to our congressman about it. I'm gonna have to make a phone call today because we was understood that there was just a private road, and that's how we kind of presented it, not knowing that the creek caused all this erosion. So we're gonna make a call back to them, but we did speak with Congressman Thompson, and he had all the U.S. Department here, USDA here, for those reasons. He had a lot of people here to see what kind of funding we can get for this. So we did speak to Mr. J.J. Smith, who's with the USDA Department, and we submitted this morning.
Just wanted to send him a PDF file of all the
PDF file.
pictures and everything of what we took out there that day, some statements and stuff, and that's what I just stepped out there and called back and told the secretary to update the email to send it that it is a refuge, game is a federal refuge or game reserve or whatever that's there, and that's what the creek flows through and it's causing the property to see if it's funding that way too, so she's gonna update the email right now for that. But yes, we met yesterday and that's what they instructed us to do, so I did that yesterday. And on the bridge too, for the rip wrap and the global field and stuff to take care of that, so.
So what kind of timeline would we be looking at, some sort of action?
We can't say what kind of timeline exactly, but I'm quite sure that with this, what we sent, they will get back to us as soon as possible.
Cause he was expecting, I mean,
Yeah.
we talked to him when we left, that was the last person we talked to, and I told him it would be there first thing this morning, and we sent it first thing this morning, Tuesday, so.
Did you apply for it as an exogen?
For the
Project?
EWP, yes.
Yes.
We did, and that's
That's
what
the
we sent. I
fastest
sent it to
setting
Norman
EWP.
too, I CC Norman in Hattiesburg, which he's over the EWPs with, our counties, so I did, copy him an email this morning.
And he knew how serious it was. We told him how serious it was, and, you know, with the water lines being up on top of the, road and stuff like that.
Right,
You know how
because
very serious it
we
was.
had took more pictures and it has gotten worse, it has gotten worse. With the last rain and stuff, it's washing it more and more and more. And pretty
It's
soon,
70 and
if
90.
it washes it more,
Yeah.
if it washes it more, they won't even be able to pass when they're on the four wheelers or anything. And then I did go see the bridge on Deerfield Road, and it is worse too. And it's got a great big, it's more and more and more is washing out. The one on Deerfield, the one, the wooden bridge. I did go see it too, and it's pretty bad off too. And like I said, our bridge too needs to be done. And Oregon City Nicky Road is really
I
bad.
got that, I called it today on that, as far as grading. And the answer your question on Deerfield, the
Yeah.
material, the
Yeah, and that
wood,
road,
we
that
do have
road,
the
I know the bridge is going out, but that road is really bad too, Deerfield.
Yeah.
It's really getting really worse.
Well, we have the timber, we picked them up this, last week, so we do have the timber.
Yeah, you got plenty of trees that are underneath it.
Yeah,
Because I went and took more pictures and the hole is really bigger.
but we should start on it, not next week, but the next.
And then, okay, what about our little bridge, when,
Say it again.
our little concrete bridge, the one,
I submitted that to, this morning, and, he had told Ms. Hutchins in Washington that the funding should be available for that.
Yeah.
To take care of the
That's
repairs.
25,000. We
Yeah.
for sure we gonna get that
Yeah.
25.
yeah,
To
because
take care of
if that one goes out,
Yeah.
we're just in the water.
Y'all have any more questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, I wanna get y'all updated, so y'all didn't have to sit
Yeah,
through
anybody?
a couple of hours here.
Any
And I
questions?
appreciate you doing that, Angela.
Do you have any?
Do y'all know when they'll be grading the road next?
Yes,
It's pretty bad.
probably
right now.
tomorrow.
Good.
Probably tomorrow. They, I have a grader down on this side, so I've got them on that, River Road grade today, and they'll go there tomorrow
what
with
we
that
would like-
grader off of every.
What we like to is maybe they can, I know y'all buy gravel or whatever you do, but can they please bring more gravel? on
They'll put
Federal?
some more gravel, and they're gonna cut it deep.
Plain gravel
I
or-
got another road that's about like y'all's, we're fixing to take and put the scar fires down and cut them deep and
You gonna rip
reset
it?
those roads.
You gonna rip it and then
Yeah, we're
come
gonna
back
rip
there
it, go
with
back
that?
and reset it.
Right,
We're
'cause
gonna
what's
do, big
happening
crown.
is, who's ever grading it right now?
He
I'm gonna
just
tell you
knocking
right
the
now.
tops off of it.
Yeah, they just knocking the tops off of it, but they're not cutting the drains.
That's why we went by
Into the
tractor
creeks.
today.
So, yeah, he's gonna do that. We're
Cause I mean,
gonna,
if it comes down to it, I'll do it myself, I mean.
no, he's gonna do it. We're gonna get it done.
Okay.
Is there any way they could remove some of the trees close by on the side of the road? But it could grade it better? They have a lot of trees on the side of the road. They got a lot of gravel on
trees
the
that
side
fell
of the
over.
road.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
problem,
Some
man.
of the
Could burn the road,
Yeah.
they remove some of the
Yeah,
trees.
just dead trees that
Yeah,
fell over
okay,
and they
yeah.
just been basically.
We can do some of it
pushed off
along,
to
we
the
can't get
side.
on private property. that's
No,
all.
I said we
I
get-
understand that, but you got a lot of gravel on the side of the road that you could actually get to and put on the road that would help out a lot if they remove some of the dead trees.
What he's,
We appreciate it.
what he's
Okay.
getting at is Gordon City Road is your road, but, okay, it's county road, but they used to come, I know we in the forestry. They used to come and they used to bush hog the sides of the roads and they would take the things and like push the trees that fall across the road or all the way across the road. Sometimes we have to cut them out our own self to get out. But, like I said, they used to clean all of that. Then the last go round is all they did was spray the sides, you know, every great now and then. But like I said, if you clean a little bit more on the side, maybe we can do, but like I said, the road's supposed to be beveled, which I'm a woman, I've been there long enough to know, I could probably do it myself, but like
Well,
I said,
they apparently got some help coming, so,
Good.
just to see y'all know.
we appreciate anything
Okay.
y'all can do for us because we just like stuck back there.
You're welcome, and like I said, I just didn't want you to have to sit here for a couple of hours and wait to talk,
Right.
so.
Okay, we
No.
do appreciate everything y'all doing for us because, like I said, we're just, you know, I live back there, I've been back there 35 years. I'm getting older too, so.
As
All right.
soon as we hear something, we'll inform you all of what's going on.
You have
Make
my
sure
phone
you
numbers?
hear. I do,
Okay.
hers, so I'll inform her.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Okay, next on the docket, special presentations, if any special presentations? County business, Divine Financial Solutions, this lady right here. Okay.
Hello, how you doing?
Fine.
I good friend of mine.
Oh, you already know, I didn't see it on the document. That's all right.
What's your name, ma'am?
Okay, my name is Natasha Gimby.
These,
I'm one of the
when I,
owners of
when I get
Oh, right.
It's not your
when
fault.
I call the.
What was your name again?
My name is Natasha Gimby. I'm one of the Gimby.
Okay.
I am one of the owners of Design Financial Solutions. It's located here in Natchez at 500 Main Street. And I came this morning to introduce our company to the county. We have been in Natchez. This year will make 3 years. We are a finance company where we do taxes for individual income taxes. We help people that needs financial education. We have free classes daily. We used to have weekly meetings at 500 Main Street in the conference room upstairs, and we're going to start them back. I also want to let you all know that we have over 15 years of financial experience with bookkeeping, accounts payables, and accounts receivables. And we also have licensed insurance agents. So I just wanted to introduce ourselves to you all, and if you all know anyone that need our services, could you please send them to us?
Every child in this county. So you're in the home bank building upstairs?
Yes,
Oh,
we're in
okay.
suite 2B, and we have an office in 2A as well.
Okay.
Do you have a phone number that I
Yes,
can reach you at?
yes, 601-255-8144.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Furry, you're up.
I'm up, all right. Good morning, Joey Farr, I'm a landscape architect working on Chester Willis Fields, for Baton Rouge. I'm passing out kind of a cost analysis of the project. I'll give you a quick update. Rounding the corner, I expect to go out after this meeting and give the contractor on the field and the plaza work, substantial completion on the work that he's been contracted to do. It was very close last time I was here. They've been sending us pictures, so I'll go out and do a walkthrough, do a punch list, and we'll likely give him substantial completion of that work today, which means that the county will take ownership or possession of the field to be able to use for its intent. Now there are some other things that are still going on around that I think we'll have to work around, but as far as this contract and the items that he has in the contract, we'll be able to give him substantial completion. He will have some punch list items that he's having to do that's normal. But the field looks really good. The pictures I've seen of the plaza, I haven't seen in person yet, looks really good. There are a few issues that we've got to work out relative to the future locker room building and concession stand building and how we want to handle that site work. But I'm sorry, the bathroom, yes, the bathroom, not concession stand, I'm sorry. And there are, that we have to make some decisions about before we can finalize some things. The old locker rooms are just down in a hole, and we don't have funding right now to do that, but we do want to, everything we do, we want to move forward with and not build anything that we have to go backwards and tear anything out. So we have a few decisions, but the bulk of the facility is ready to lease. Also, the sports lighting project is nearly complete. We've got to do a tie back. The concession stand's got to be tied back into the service, and the restrooms, the existing restrooms have to be tied back in. And then I think Entergy's got to do their main tie. I've got to talk to their contractor about getting inspection and so forth, but I believe they're rounding the corner as well. The painting project is mostly finished. There are some flaws that are keeping it from being finished, and I did talk to the painting contractor about that. He understands that it needs to be done, and there's a reason it hadn't been done, which I'll talk about in a minute. But generally, everything that we have under contract, it should be finished. Bleachers should be finished by the end of this week. So we should be good to go on everything that we have approved by Monday or Tuesday of next week. So that's a good thing. I do have a couple of change orders that I'd like to present to you that need to be approved if we're gonna do them. And I think some of them we will be able to do before opening day, and some of them will have to take place after opening day. The first one is for the some fencing across the front of the stadium. And also some additional fencing to kind of close the ballpark in, and there's some areas that are open. That's a change order of about $20,281. Like I said, it's decorative fencing that ties across the front to the corners of the stadium. There's pedestrian gates there, so people, that's where you can take tickets or whatever. People will be able to come into the facility. Right now, it's open, and we need to, I believe you need to be able to protect your facility, because we don't want people just to be able to drive out there and do what they want to do on the road. This was not in any plan to date, so this is an extra thing that we've asked him to price as we're finishing the work. This was not in any contractor, but it needs to be done to secure the facility.
Go ahead, Ms. Hutchins.
That was my question. I was gonna ask, was it in the plan
Oh.
No,
from the beginning?
it was not in his contract. This is just an addition. We've got a good contractor who's doing good work, and we've got a pricing on this that is commercially acceptable. I've looked at the numbers, and it's a reasonable price for the amount of fencing that we're doing, the type of fencing that we're doing.
Mr. President,
Yes,
when you say fencing, make me see where this fence gonna go.
Okay, so if you're pulling up to the stadium from the parking lot, you'll be looking at the stadium. There's a short section when you're facing the back of the stadium, a short section to the right, which will go, it'll be in line with the stadium, and it'll tie into the existing chain link fence that runs all the way down the left field line along the road. So this is the fencing outside of the field. It ties in, so there's a short section that'll have a double gate there, and then on the other side, from the corner of the building, it extends across the front. It ties into the existing chain link that's got the barbed wire that, it protects the side of the facility. And then the other,
Hang on one second, Ricky, if you took a line from the back of the bleachers and drew a straight line, it would follow that line and connect to the others.
I'm following him, but I'm trying to figure out purpose. What is the purpose of it?
well, it's to keep people from just walking into the stadium or driving into the stadium, because right now there's no fence there. There used to be a fence out at the road, but that's no longer there, and that fence was falling down. So then there's also on outside of the ball field fence, there's the perimeter fence that was existing, but in the corners it doesn't tie into the new ball field fencing. So there's I think about 50 feet of chain link fencing out in the outfields so we will have a fence around the entire we'll have a lockable thing around the entire facility, with the exception of what we do where the future locker rooms may go. Because right now you're still gonna be able to go under the stadium, but we don't wanna put a fancy fence across the front of the stadium if we're gonna do the locker rooms, but we will need to do something to secure that, but that's not in this request. This request is just the corners, and that's a decorative fence that'll look nice, and it'll be a good closure of protecting your resources, basically, protecting your facilities from vandals and so forth.
President Wilson,
yes.
are we in budget with this project, or will this send us over budget with it?
If you look at the black line there, if you approve this change order and another change order I'm gonna ask for in a minute, you will have a balance of $6,307 on the 2.2 million in bond dollars that you guys committed to this project. So you will still, both of the change orders I'm asking on the top part of the page will be under your budget.
And still, we got more to do. We're still not finished.
That,
And we can end up going over budget.
well, I'm not asking for anything to be approved that takes you over budget in this scenario yet. So Other funds, if there are other things that need to be done, you don't have, in the bonds, from the bonds, you don't have funds for those.
Yeah, that could have been 20,000 on those bathrooms, or locker rooms.
Well, but we need the fence too, so, you know, and, you know, we've just got a project, we've got an old building that, you know, the locker rooms, you know, we knew from the beginning, they were never on the locker rooms were never part of the budget.
That's a necessity.
Yes, yeah, sure,
The fence
absolutely.
was never part of the budget either.
Well, there are certain things that are necessary. I think the fencing is necessary. I think the restrooms are necessary. I think the locker rooms are all necessary. But right now, I'm trying to do what we can with the funds that you guys have budgeted for this, and then we'll have to address the others, you know, I guess later. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in my presentation.
Mr. President,
Yes. Great.
I understand, some of these items wasn't part of the original budget, but, to my understanding, and maybe I was dreaming, that this facility, was gonna attract, cause I've been talking to Alcorn, maybe a SWAC tournament, or whatever the case may be, maybe Colin wanna come down here and play. So if that was the ultimate goal, I don't understand, why the locker rooms wouldn't be part of it, because I'm still saying the same thing. We got a state-of-the-art facility, and we trying to attract and make money down here. We just don't want Natchez High, because these would be the only one utilize this field. We want to be able maybe to have a SWAC tournament like we used to have down here, and possibly if we got somebody that play with Colin, maybe have Colin come here and play a couple games or whatever the case may be. So in my mind, the locker room and the restrooms and everything else on here is very important to do what I'm thinking we need to be doing with this stadium.
Okay, you said there was another change order. Is that
Yes,
what you're gonna get to?
the
Scaffolding?
Yes, the scaffolding, so if you'll recall, the last time I came, I had requested a change order for the painter to rent a special lift. When he did the project, he was told he could use his bucket truck. We decided that we didn't want him to take his bucket truck on the field, and because we had a contractor that was still working, and we didn't want him to damage his work, so we restricted him from doing that. The bucket truck that he has doesn't reach to the parts of under the stadium. I thought that he had already rented this special lift when I presented it, and you guys said, well, if he's already done it, we can't approve the change order. When I went out there after the meeting, he had built scaffolding to try to reach this area, and he couldn't reach the center of the stadium because the scaffolding that he has is not tall enough. So he still has the center section of the building to paint, but before he finishes it, he's asking for the change order to be able to rent scaffolding to be tall enough to be able to get that middle section, because we're not allowing him to utilize his own equipment, which he had originally did. The scaffolding that was out there when I went out there was, about 8 or 10 feet short, and he was able to get some paint, but it was too far away from the underside of the roof to spray. So he's asked me to ask you for this change order, and if you approve it, then he will rent taller scaffolding, and he'll get out there and finalize it.
I don't think it was because, he'd already done it. I think we were saying he bid the job and he should have known what he needed to do the job. And that's why we didn't approve it last time.
No, it was not approved because Joey said he
Yeah,
had already done it.
Yeah, I said he had already done it.
But he had not.
Yeah, we didn't really discuss it any further past that, so, and it was not part of what he priced the job, because when we discussed pricing the job, you know, I told him he would be able to get his truck in front of the facility. And then he was also having to work around that Stubbs doing the plaza and the bleacher people, so he was trying to fit all this in, and, when he didn't get when he wasn't able to get the lift and he had to get out of the way of the bleacher people, he just pulled off. And now he said, I know I gotta go back and paint it, but I really need the change order to be approved. And he didn't have the scaffolding in his price because he was planning to use, by my direction, to use his bucket truck. And I guess didn't realize that Nathan Stubbs, contractor, would not want him to get on his field with a bucket truck, which is understandable because Nathan's still responsible for that project.
Well, it's like 1/10 of 1% of the budget, but it's still like, it's just like nickel and diamond thing. But anyway, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the change order on the paint and to approve the change order for the perimeter fencing to secure the investment.
Motion by Mr. Middleton,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Gaines.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
I need to know how, excuse me.
Well, my only problem is, and everybody that know me on the board, I always have a problem with somebody bidding something out and come back with all these change orders to eat up all our money. My philosophy is when you bid something out, you need to know what you're bidding. And we got change order for $124,000, we got a change order for $44,000, we got a change order for $32,000. Now we got a change order for $22,500, and that's why, to me, it's bad to let somebody know how much money you got for a project, and they bid one price and change order you to death all the way up to the whole amount that we got for the project. That's a problem.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and I deal with this on, every project that we do, whether it's a public project or a private project. In this case, the changes that we have made, by and large, are additions to his scope of work. The concrete plazas, which is the $44,000, was not in the scope of the original bid because we wanted to get the ball field project out so that we could get specific contractors to build the field involved. And then while we had this contractor who was doing good work in order to do some things, we went ahead and added that in because it had to be done. The structural supports under the bleachers had to be done per our structural engineer, and that was not in his contract. But while he had people pouring concrete and doing steel work on the bleachers, it made sense for him to do it, and we got a commercially reasonable price for that. So that was not in his scope. The only item that was there were some items that were unforeseen conditions. Primarily the utilities that were not shown on the survey and were a lot shallower in right field. We had to work around that, and I think the solution for that was very economical. And then there were some collapsed drains and some things that were part of the city drainage that we had to connect to, that in order to get the water off. So those were additional items to what he bid on all of these. The bleachers, there's no change orders on the bleachers, and the painting, this is just a request because when I scoped the project for him, I told him he could put his bucket truck there, and he said, okay, I can do it, and he can't do that, so there is a change in his scope. He's not asking for, in these cases, none of these change orders, I believe, are nickel and diming you. I think we're asking them to add things to the project that were not in the original bids in order to get the facility completed. Otherwise, we would have had to bid it with someone else, bid all these things with somebody else, and we wouldn't have necessarily gotten it done on time, and probably would have gotten higher prices if it had been bid.
Mr. President, Mr. Attorney, Just wanna make sure we legal on whatever we doing.
I need to know how they're commercially reasonable, not just a statement that they are commercially reasonable, but how they're commercially reasonable.
Well, the linear footage of the fence based on standard pricing and other pricing that we have on this project, you know, and the scope is,
I mean, it looks like it's $20,000. All we have to do is get 2 written bids and do it. So I don't know, you know.
Don't mean it's gonna be $20,000 if we get 2 written bids. And see that, you know, I agree with Supervisor Gray, about the pricing, when we let people know what we have, and then they wanna come back with all these change orders and then try to eat up all the money. And then they started finding things that we need. I feel like those was things that should have been, looked at before we even did this contract, because now, fencing gonna cost us $20,000, and if it was put in that contract before then, it probably wouldn't be that amount. Now inflation's had gone up, and now we're paying out our butts to do this.
I disagree with you that it would've been less. Looking at the pricing and what we normally get for the pricing, we've already got a contractor out there that's mobilized and so forth. And, you know, we did get a written bid from the subcontractor that's doing the fencing.
And you think they didn't charge more for fencing?
I think
Than
they
if
charge,
it was back in there?
they charge the same general prices that they charge for other fencing on the site.
Did we check with another subcontractor too?
No, we did not, because we just asked the general contractor to give us a price as a change order.
Mr. Gaines.
On hearing that, information, I wanna rescind my second, because we do have to have, over 5,000, we had to have 2 different bids, and I thought he said commercially reasonable. Thought he had did his homework on, getting that pricing.
Right.
And I mean, I wanna get it done, cause it's within the scope, but we gotta follow certain bid laws for us to be legal, cause if I second your motion and if I second his motion to pay you, and you said right then that you did not get a bid from anybody else, you just got a commercial price from the contractors out there, that is strictly illegal for us to set up here and approve it, because in county business, they have to have at least 2 bids with anything over 5,000. So I'm not trying to block the project, but I'm trying to stay within the law.
Well, I'll ask the county attorney to speak to that. This is a change order, this is not we're asking the contractor
Speak to
who
it.
is in charge of the site to add to his contract, so I don't know that it requires.
Clarify me,
It
Mr.
doesn't, but
Attorney.
it needs, this board has to make a determination that the pricing was obtained in a commercially reasonable manner. So just explain how you got the pricing. You asked one contract, I mean, how do we know that's commercially reasonable if you only asked one? You know?
Well, typically when we ask the general contractor on the project for a price to do a change order, he then either self-performs it or he asks his subcontractor that is appropriate to give him a price to do the new scope that we've asked. And he gives us a number, and that doesn't require that he get multiple bids, it just requires that we get multiple bids, that we get a price from him. I assessed it based on other pricing, and it's also based on, which is typically how we've always approved change orders.
All right, so if you
within the
assessed it
process.
based on other pricing,
Bring up the price.
that would be what we would,
Yeah.
that's what you would state.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna give me, like, I thought your architect or whatever was gonna give me a statement of this is why he thought it was reasonable or whatever.
That is for the electrical change order, I do have that, but that's a different thing than what we're talking. I reviewed these
I
prices.
mean, I believe it's commercially reasonable, but we can't just believe it. You gotta have it in your minutes why it is.
Yeah, well, it is, I mean, my recommendation is looking at the prices that he has on the job as well as the standard in the industry. I believe that these are reasonable prices. I think that the numbers, you know, right in the ballpark of where it should be. So my recommendation would be to approve it.
Mr. Attorney,
Go ahead, Sue.
So, Mr. Attorney,
I mean, the board has to make a finding that this is commercially reasonable. He's saying it is commercially reasonable.
so, Mr. Attorney, my question to you is, I'm definitely not trying to stop it, he within his scope. Am I legally, if I was second a motion, would you be confident that I'm protected legally with what he just told us?
I mean, an auditor may come back and say, you know, why was this? You know, how did you come up with this being commercially reasonable?
Okay.
And our response right now is, the architect says it's commercially reasonable.
The person that's gonna build the fence, is he already on location?
Yes.
Typically, what
Okay.
we do, we have a change order, most of the time, it's based on unit pricing anyway.
Mhm.
So when, you know, contractor comes and they bid X amount on dirt, they give a unit price. And it turns out we need more dirt than normal. Well, we already got the price of the unit price for dirt, so it's automatically commercially reasonable because we already bid this price out. We didn't bid any fencing out, did we?
Yes, they're fencing around the entire perimeter of the.
So is this the same price as the other fencing that you did?
The chain link is the same price, but there's.
The chain link, we could say, is commercially reasonable because it's based on a bid we already have.
And then,
Decorative fencing.
the decorative fencing is based on kind of industry standard, in my opinion, so that we can, I don't have a breakdown with me between the chain link and the other, but, we can get that, and we can wait until we get it approved, if that's what you wanna do.
I mean, if you go Google chain link fencing, is this, and print it off, is it the same price as this? That would, you would then have to.
Well, you can do some stuff on the internet, but when you do fencing, it depends on the length of the fencing. You have end post and tension post, and that cost more than line post and center sections of the fencing. So when you have short runs, it's more expensive per linear foot than if you have 400 feet between. And then you've got gates and things. You've got retrofitting and tying in. So it's not just an absolute go on the internet and find the cheapest price. It's an assessment of what was presented and based on the unit cost that we have. And to me, it appears commercially reasonable.
The decorative fencing, who is doing, who would do that?
The same contractor.
Which is?
The same contractor that's doing, the subcontractor.
And where's he from?
I don't know his name.
Is it
Cause
wrought
I
iron?
don't deal with this stuff.
Is it wrought iron or wood?
It's aluminum. It's a wrought iron look, but.
So the welder that's out there is gonna do it.
No, it won't be the welder, it'll be the fence company. It's an aluminum, fencing that looks like wrought iron, but
This isn't a protective fence then, if it's aluminum. It's just,
well, it's a decorative, 6 foot high decorative fence with gates. You know, the gates cost more than the line
It's just
footage.
the entrance.
Yeah.
The rest is
It-
chain link.
Yeah, everything else is chain link, just the part across the front. And that's the more expensive
what
fence, but.
I'm trying to get at is that more than likely there's nobody in town that can do this. It's just gonna be somebody from out of town that's gonna have to be
That
mobilized to here to look at it and then price it.
that's my assumption, that's correct.
So,
I'm not familiar with the vendors here, specifically whether
I
anybody.
wonder if the price is gonna go up, because this guy's gonna leave and go back and.
Mr. President, I understand what everybody's saying, but this is where my stand is, and this is where it's gonna always be. No disrespect to him, he got his opinion, but the man that we are paying to keep us out of trouble and make sure that we do stuff in decent and order, have a problem with this. So, as a supervisor, and the attorney telling me one thing, and I go against what the attorney tells me, then I'm putting myself in danger. You ain't gonna be in no danger. It's coming back on this board. So if you could go and get whatever you need right quick, I don't think nobody on this board trying to hold up nothing. I sure ain't finna get in trouble for you.
Well, I'm a little confused as to what you would ask me to do. You asked me to try to get another price.
Get 2 bids.
You could just show what you compared it, how you compared that to, that's all you gotta do.
Okay, I can provide that too.
That's all we need.
Okay,
I'm gonna rescind my motion until Mr. Perkins presents.
what about the other, change order for the lift? We wanna do a separate one for that?
For the,
For the scalp,
Yeah, that's to a different company, so it would definitely be different.
that's gonna be.
So I need a motion for, this extra scaffolding to finish the painting.
so I'll make
Second.
that.
I'll second. I don't know who said it.
Yeah,
Again, the same
Uh,
question is why was the,
Middleton, Ms. Middleton.
But he rescinded his
Still,
motion because
wait.
the law.
He's gonna get more
We're gonna get,
information.
yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Scott, did you have something to say on the scalp?
it's the same thing, I mean,
Same thing?
how was it, how did we price the scaffolding, or was that included in his initial bid or anything?
There was no scaffolding included in it.
Has there been any scaffolding at all in this project?
Oh,
He
let's see.
used his bucket truck for most of it, he does have some scaffolding, but he didn't have enough to get high enough to do what he needed to do, that's why he's having to rent it, so, you know, we can ask him to, you know, give us a breakdown of, you know, those costs extensively. I don't know that there's an additional scaffolding company, other than where he's talking about going, but, you know, these guys they make their request, and we try to make an assessment based on our knowledge and our experience over the last, 40 years of doing this type of work, and, you know, generally, when we make a recommendation and we appropriately ask for the change order, pricing, and sometimes we kick it back and say this is too much. In this case, I don't think so, but I understand what you want.
Yeah, it didn't take long, you just had to have something to compare it with, so we have it in the minutes.
Could we do actual cost not to exceed 2,500? We don't really know what.
No, we need to wait.
Well, we just don't know, we don't know what's gonna cost him, they're throwing a number out there.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'm not trying to be difficult, but, the guy could have used his bucket truck, but they did the field before he had an opportunity to use his bucket truck, because this is what I'm hearing, because he was told by the contractor that he didn't want him to go on the field with his bucket truck, but he could have used his bucket truck. Is that not correct?
He did use his bucket truck, but he was not able to access the front of the stadium. With
Because
his
he
bucket
couldn't go on the field because we already had finished the field. That's what you said.
Well, the field was under, the field.
The field was completed.
The field was completed, but more importantly, the field is still under the control and the liability of the general contractor. So
I'm
it's
trying
not
to
the
help
county,
you out.
so he couldn't, he was told that he could do something that he was not allowed to do. That's the purpose for the change order. He's gotta do it a different way. And there's more expense for him to do it the way we're now requiring him to do it.
He could have caused more damage in 30
Yes,
minutes
yes,
than you could have
yes.
repaired.
Yeah,
$40,000.
and so and keep in mind, we're trying to get multiple contractors in, working on top of each other so that we can get the facility open. And by not having all of these contractors under one general contractor, we are saving dollars, because the general contractor would be marking all of their work up. So if the paint was $25,000, the general contractor would have put 10% or 15% on top of that for basically making a phone call, and then he might have allowed him to get out there on his field and do it. But since he was not under his contract, he did not want him on the field, and we, I understand that, and we can't, it's under his control, so that's why the change in the painter scope.
Okay, any further discussion? Do we need to,
Mr.
Mr.
President,
Slover, you have any comment on the scaffolding or?
Y'all are satisfied that that's commercially reasonable.
No, but doesn't he have to have it?
Hey, tell it like it
So,
is, man.
I'm
At
just
the
saying,
end of the day,
don't
I'm gonna be honest
I
with you,
just
Scott.
explained it.
Hold. I ain't trying to do nothing wrong. But if you give us the authority to do this and it come back to bite us, guess who's gonna take the blame for it?
Yes, I'm gonna get the fine.
You're gonna be blamed for it. So give us the right legal advice from the start. Because I done been in meetings before where they using Adams County how to not to do stuff right. So give us your legal opinion. I don't care whether it's right or wrong. I just want what you think is best for this board to do. That's what we pay you for.
Yeah, and that's what I would like. I would prefer to have, explanation in the minutes as to how we came up with the pricing.
But that's what.
And that's what I thought we were gonna have a letter from somebody explaining that we could have submitted.
This on
Yeah.
scaffolding?
And Adams hasn't been,
Could
under
we
my
get the
watch,
letter?
an example.
I can see if we can get, we probably can get an email.
Would the email be
Yeah,
good
it'd be
enough?
fine, because we just,
Okay.
it's not hard, it's just something that you have to throw out.
Send you motion.
Let us get the email and well, we can cover ourselves.
Okay.
I'll send that motion until Mr. Fur can get
Or
us that.
send your
information.
second until we get the
Yes.
email. Okay,
Okay,
moving on.
there is another, change order that I'm requesting. This is for additional, this is not part of the original contract, this is electrical service that we asked the on-site contractor to give us pricing on. He's already mobilized, he's, able to do this. This is to add lights under the grandstand, it's to add, the first one is to add lights under the grandstand as well as a power inverter, so that, that if we have a power failure at the ballpark, we've got emergency egress light, which is required. It is also providing, electrical outlets at the platform where the press platform would be, so that we can plug the scoreboard and plug the, PA system in. All of these items are part of the electrical. There's also service to future locker rooms. So there's a panel that comes, that's added, that is there to service the locker rooms that we eventually will build while we're under the stadium running wires. It makes sense to go ahead and do this. It's already designed in for the loads we need. So the first change order would be to do those items. I do have a long email from my electrical engineer that confirms that all the pricing he believes is commercial and reasonable, and he explains exactly why he thinks so. I can submit that for the record if you wish. And that'd be for the electrical change order number 1 as well as number 2. His email addresses both. The change order number 2 for the electrical is we have to run a new service to the new restroom building that is going to be built. Again, while we're doing the electrical service, we need to get it out from under the stadium and get it run over to the area where the restrooms are gonna be. When this project was bid, we didn't know where the restroom was gonna be, and we didn't know exactly what was gonna happen with the bleachers. But this is a contractor that's on site. He's given us reasonable pricing for it. Additionally, since this contractor is doing the sports lighting, this will all be tied into the lease purchase, so these dollars would not come out of the bonds. So these dollars would go into the lease purchase price of the work. So I'd recommend that these both change order number 1 and 2 for sports lighting be approved.
Okay, you said this would be tied into the lease purchase.
Correct.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
could we get a legal advice on this before we make a motion and have to rescind motions and do all that?
That might be the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this was electrical stuff that was not included in the original plans, and so if we do not do this change order, there'll not be electricity at the concession stand in the potential locker rooms, and the bathrooms?
The concession stand, there will be electricity in the concession stand as part of the base bid. That is in the base bid drawing. There would not be electricity at the bathrooms or the locker rooms, and there would be no lights or power to the bleachers of the press.
Yeah, so that was omitted from the original plans. Is that something that we find desirable? Possibly. Second question then goes, how is this pricing commercially reasonable? He says he has an email from his person that explains why that's a commercially reasonable price, and it's a legal change order.
Let me ask you a question before we get on to this, cause I'm not trying to be difficult, y'all, but, it was said that the locker room wasn't even part of none of this from the start. But I'm looking on here and say, we gonna run additional electricity service for a future locker room. So now the locker room is a part of this?
No, we
Just in case we get the money for it, the electricity will already be in place.
Yes.
They won't have to come back and
They won't
grind
have
up
to come back.
concrete or run overhead.
Yeah, they'll have to take the wire from the new panel
I got
into the new locker rooms, but they won't have to do the major work. And the reason that we included it in this electrical change order request is because we didn't make the request for this change order until after we started discussing the locker room.
So we good on that, Mr. Attorney?
All that's good, as I
Okay.
relate. The
Okay.
legal,
Okay, I need,
so, legal part, yes, and whether you want to do it or not, so.
can I get a motion for,
Only those two.
change order number 1 and number 2 for the sports light and electrical to be leased?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Gaines, second by Ms. Hutchins.
Now,
Any
I'm
more
I'm
discussion?
sorry to, and this is not necessarily, but y'all need to understand, to re-elaborate basically what he was saying. This is gonna come under the lease purchase, not under the bond.
Right.
Just
That's
making
correct.
sure we all understand, so I'm gonna have to adjust that.
Mr. Gaines?
I understand, I was just in
Okay, okay.
person.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's all for discussion, all in favor? Any nays? I have it, motion approved.
Okay, last time we discussed, the locker rooms and the restrooms, and you guys, wanted to discuss with the school board, has there been any movement, is there any direction that I need to know as far as, we do have a set of plans, we have a bid, for the concession stand, or we have pricing for this concession stand.
We're not building a concession stand, Joe.
I'm sorry, I keep saying that. The restrooms, on the record, the restroom pavilion, we have a price for that, but we've not approved the change order. It's out of the funding. The dollars funded by the bonds. Is there anything that I need to know, or there any discussion that I can help you
Mr.
guys
Gray.
with?
Yeah, Mr. President, the only discussion I have since it was not part of the original plan, and it's $200 and some thousand. Do we need more than one bid, estimate, or whatever on that, Mr. Attorney?
On a change order, or you're talking
This
about?
not a change order, it wasn't part of the original
Locker
bid.
room and bathroom.
Yeah,
This
you
is
kind
on-
of redid all that out.
Other items to complete.
If we don't do it as a change order, you have to bid it out, yes.
I mean,
But
This not a change order.
this is not a change order, this
It
just.
wasn't part of the original bid, so it can't be a change order,
So
can it?
we would have,
I mean, you could, oh, that's a lot of money, what,
400.
$700,000 on a $2 million contract?
has anybody talked to the school board?
We have a meeting set up with them.
We needed a price before we could,
Yeah.
Well, I'm just, we didn't make
Yeah,
an
we got a meeting
initial,
set up with them next week, so we are gonna need some pricing on the cost.
Well,
You're looking at this as an estimate,
Well,
but
the-
this is the cost.
what
Already
I,
percent on the contract.
Yeah.
what I would say is, if you approve the restrooms, then we have a price for the restrooms. But if you're not gonna approve the restrooms as a change order, then we need to bid the restrooms, and I would assume the locker rooms together.
Right, that's
So,
correct.
so this If that's the case, then I would say the price on the restrooms is a very good estimate. And I think the price on the locker rooms is a not as good estimate because we don't have drawings for that. I've got a whole set of drawings for the restrooms. But we don't have drawings yet for the locker rooms because we have not been told to move forward with those. Because today
We're talking about a rectangular cinder block room with a
Yeah.
slope roof on it.
Yeah,
Pretty simple.
it's a pretty simple build.
But the most important thing about this, if this goes out to bid, there needs to be specs that we're comparing apples to apples.
Right.
Because there were some things that original bid in the bathroom to the flush valves, the ADA compliance issue in the multifamily bathroom, and also the sewage pump.
Yes.
All that needs to be spec'd out if this is bid out.
Yes, correct.
Because we don't need a quote on apples and a quote on oranges.
Right.
That's the
correct.
most important thing.
Well,
Because if you go in there and put a household toilet and
no,
you're gonna have a lot of problems.
when I would recommend, if we're not gonna do it as a change order, we put both of these.
It can be a change order.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, then we need to we need to do a bid package for the locker rooms and the restrooms. We've already got the drawings for the restrooms, so we just need to draw the locker rooms and get bidding. It'll have to be advertised because it's over, 75,000, so, we're talking about, a 8-week period before we can,
It's fine. It's not gonna be ready this year anyway.
so.
Does the price on the bathroom include getting the sewer line?
It includes
Replaced
it includes the lift station, and it includes the force main, and the only thing that I'm not positive is how many feet of force main they have in the bid. I have to look more detail.
Well, it goes all the way down the left field line, is that?
That's where they think it
So
has
you're
to be,
talking about 300,
that's
400
where we think we have to go, but we're still looking for another sewer line. We can't figure out where the old sewer line actually ties in.
Have you
Nobody's
got in
seen that.
touch with the National Water Works?
Yeah, nobody really knows, it's not on any drawings, so. And it's old, the existing sewer line's an old clay pipe, and it's broken and shallow, and it's not the code. It would be a mistake to put this much sewage into that pipe.
Okay, so who's gonna do the drawings for the, locker rooms? You're gonna do them?
We can
And
do
then
it, yeah.
we'll submit them, then we're gonna advertise for bids for the two combined?
If that's the directive from the board, that's what we'll do.
I believe that's what the direction we're going is. We don't need a motion for that, do we?
We need a motion on authorizing
Okay.
them to do drawings, cause it's gonna cost money to do that.
Okay. Okay, we need a motion to, do the, architectural work for the
What's your cost on that?
bathroom and the locker room.
It would just be percentage, the same percent of construction I have on the contract.
What is that?
Maybe, I don't have the information in front of me, I think it's about 8.5%, so, something to that point. That-
Just the locker rooms, you've already drawn the bathroom.
Well, but, I did, but the funds that we've used already are the 1.2. But I can work with you guys on it, I wanna get it finished, I wanna get it done, and I wanna get it done well, and so, we're okay, in terms of, I'll give you
This is one of them help us help you,
yeah.
cause we'd like to get it done too, and it was said earlier, we make some money, but we can't make any money off this deal anyway. That's the problem with the county, and this has been my horse I've been beating for a while. Anything we bring in, we don't get any money out. We get our money from ad valorem tax. We don't get sales tax. We don't get concessions. We get basically nothing. So, this is something we're providing for our youth, basically, our local baseball team. But at any rate, so did somebody make a motion for him to do the drawings or the architectural work for the bathrooms and the locker room? Moved by Ms. Hutchins,
Can I make a
Second.
second by Mr. Middleton. Any more discussion?
Yes, sir. We doing locker rooms, right?
Mhm.
What did you wanna make?
I was just gonna add that if it, should we just, as far as my fees, we just say that it'll be the percentage, the same percent of construction dollars that we have in our contract or less, and that way I can try to work with you on that piece. I need to look at how long it's taking, you know.
Okay.
Mr. President, at the moment, this is $655 some odd thousand dollars that we're not budgeted for too. I know some of it we're gonna ask the school to help out. We gotta make a determination, I mean, you know, if we don't go forward with the project, you know, you only get paid if you go forward with that project?
Typically, what our contract says is we get paid for whatever level of the scope of work we do. So if we take it through construction documents and it gets bid and doesn't get built, we don't get paid for the following, the remainder of the construction administration.
Respectfully, I feel like we need to take a look at our budget before taking the next step. I mean, we can have it back next meeting and probably figure out what we're gonna do.
But you said you would not charge us if we don't build it. Is that what you said?
Well, I would charge you for the drawings, but wouldn't charge you for all of it.
Not a flat fee, it's gonna be
Yeah, I mean, that's, now, if we're gonna discuss it next meeting, then perhaps I should just put together a proposal for you to.
okay, let's do that.
To do it, because I've got an electrical engineer and probably a structural engineer that'll have to, you know, be in it, so it's not just, the fees don't just go to me.
And hopefully we'll have talked to the, schools board and the, maybe the city as well.
Yeah, we had a schedule, we just needed the information that we got.
Okay, we're gonna rescind another motion, I believe.
So I'm gonna come in on this now.
Okay, and in the second, and Mr. Middleton will rescind in the second. So, is there anything else we need to discuss?
I just wanna verify to be sure that I understand what just happened here. So the electrical change orders were approved and the scaffolding was approved.
Correct.
And
No.
Scaffolding, you need to come back and tell us
Okay,
why.
scaffolding and fencing, I'm gonna give you an email as to
And
why.
forward us the email.
And I forward, you already have it, I think, from the electrical engineer.
You can say right up there.
Scaffolding email, scaffolding
Yes,
and,
And the one from last time,
fencing.
last meeting, that meeting,
which one?
is that the one that was on the, whatever change order you did last meeting?
Mhm.
I needed an email for that as well.
Okay, I thought I'd already sent you that. Thought I'd follow up after the meeting, I'll check.
I'll check.
Okay.
Joe, just clear this up. We need you to prove that the fencing and the scaffolding is commercially reasonable before lunch.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Mr. Parker, you're up. That's good timing there.
Well, I'll try to do that. Good morning. At this point in time, due to reasons, I will go into,
Mr. Burke.
I'm gonna need to meet with y'all in the executive session because I have some specific personal health information to go over. I don't have any firm quotes from any vendors at this point on the reinsurance. But I'll go over that, when we meet and the reason why. But they're all working on it, but I've got to get some things answered and, we'll go over that, if it pleases the board when we meet in executive session. If we may do that.
That shouldn't be a problem.
We just need to make sure they're qualified.
The other thing I'd like to mention is that Sharon Jefferson and myself, Shaki, have the open enrollment well in hand in terms of contacting vendors and having things ready to take care of that. So that's all I have at this time.
All right. See you in a little while then. Thanks, Greg.
So, I just received these dockets, so they were not emailed to me, so I did not email them to y'all. My question is, do y'all want to look over them?
I can't approve nothing, I can't
They
do
are
both.
going to be payroll and insurance.
Just payroll and
Just payroll and insurance.
Okay. City government business, any, I don't see anybody here. I don't know. All right. Departmental reports. Did Ms. Fails leave?
She's in the restroom.
Oh, okay, I don't want, y'all wanna start first? I know she's uncomfortable sitting back there.
All right, I'm Marlon Swayze, the E911 dispatch supervisor, and I have the call for service reports from the February 1st through the 20th. For Adams County Sheriff's Office, we have 263 calls. National Police Department, 689 calls. National Fire Department, 30 calls, and 14 counter calls.
All right,
Good morning, and it's fair to E911.
yes, ma'am.
I was, trying to see if we have an update, with the city for moving forward with our renovations on the building.
Mr. Slover?
Yes, we've requested a meeting with the city to discuss the move. I think you sent us everything, your request for money to have it all moved, forward it to the board.
Let me say this also too. I don't know if any furniture or anything got to be purchased for that building or whatever. I'm quite sure it does. But at the meeting yesterday, what Congressman Benny Thompson put on, and he had the surplus, Mississippi Office of Surplus Property people there. That would be good. I brought this brochure back to you so you can have the number and contacts. They have a lot of stuff there that you may can use for that building.
Okay.
Okay, instead of us having to, go and buy all new stuff, they have a lot of everything that they
I have another question too. As far as the renovation, like knocking the wall out and the painting, I was trying to request if we could move forward with that, because we do have quotes on that, because the money is in the budget, just to try to move forward. Because the longer we wait, the higher the prices will get us.
Okay, let me ask you this question, as far as painting, are we getting someone to paint that building, or could Johnny and them paint that building?
Well, I asked Johnny about it.
That's what I'm saying.
For the inmates,
Yeah.
yeah, we probably gonna go that route.
Yeah.
Can't guarantee the quality, but they can do it.
Oh, we could go paint the building ourselves.
Yeah, I mean,
We could
You,
do that
you
ourselves.
got
You know, like
quotes?
minor stuff that really needs to be done to move forward with the building for us, knocking that wall out and for us to paint for, we could just go ahead and get started on that. Because I do have the money in my budget for that.
How many quotes have you got for that?
He has that I have 2 quotes for the wall being knocked out. One of them I think was 5,000 and something, and the other one was 2,000.
Mr. President,
Yes.
my question is this. Okay, let me see how I'm gonna get this. Whether the city come aboard or not, we still gonna move forward.
That would certainly be my thought process, yes, sir.
So, that's the only question I have.
Mr. Attorney, can we move forward with her bids to move the wall?
All right, certainly, if you wanna go out there, come, no matter what, then you certainly can,
Mr.
from a
Well-
negotiation
Mr.
standpoint.
Attorney, my question is this. Whether the city gonna move forward with an interlocal agreement to continue E911, if they pull out, are we gonna continue to move to this new building? That's my question.
And that would be up to the board, I'm sorry.
So that's what we need to figure out, Mr. President.
We could probably answer that question pretty
Yeah,
quick
we're
with
gonna
a
have
vote, because I know that you're saying it's not a strong negotiating position, but the bottom line is, the conditions underneath that jail that they're in
Yeah.
are oppressive. They're
So we gonna move forward, no matter what, then they can go on,
We've
do
got the
whatever
money
they gotta do.
in the budget to move her, do we not? Not
I mean, I
completely.
know,
I mean, we're,
Definitely probably couldn't pull it up yet. You check and see, I would hate that.
I still trying to review, it was a substantial amount, and I needed to do my due diligence, and I haven't had time to do all that yet.
yes, sir.
I think in the meantime, while Ms. Washington looks at those numbers, I think it'd be very beneficial to have, Mr. Dollar, who is a big asset, has a lot of experience. Johnny, you and Chief Deputy Daltrey maybe meet out there and take a look at what needs to be done and what maybe the inmates could do or what Johnny could do to try to get a plan with everybody on the same page. I think that's a
Well,
meeting.
I've already met with Johnny. Johnny the one got the contractors in and pointed out everything needs to be done after he talked to Jackson County. That's how we got the quotes. We got all that
Right.
from Johnny. So, you know.
But what maybe they could do.
Have you been in that building, Ron?
They didn't request the inmates to do the walls because there's wires in it.
Well,
So
my question about that is that, are the walls holding up part of the building, or is that a freestanding structure that doesn't depend on the walls holding the
It's a
building?
load bearing wall.
I don't know, I didn't look at it I haven't not been inside it, so I don't know myself.
So,
I'm looking
Mr.
up at the
President,
ceiling,
what
I'm
you
gonna
asking me if they tear down the walls, is the rest of the thing
Yeah.
gone?
Is it, are there load bearing walls, or is it?
Yeah, I
Is it
It's probably
standalone?
not, it looks like a metal hull, you know, where
That's
it's
what I
supposed
thought
to
it was,
be,
too
probably
bad.
a suspended.
And I know
ceiling, so
they found it, looked at it,
Yeah.
that would be a huge mistake.
Yeah. It's probably not, I figure it's a suspended ceiling, just dividers for the.
Okay, so,
In the meantime, we'll have a meeting with the city before.
okay. So I guess what we're gonna do is wait till the next meeting, and we're gonna try to clear all this up at the same time. We're not trying to kick the can any further down the road, but the bottom line is, we want you over there, and out of there.
That's not gonna let you kick it down the road.
Mr. President, and also, just a question, I mean, I have in my mind, if we move, cause I mean, we talking about money, if we end up splitting dispatches, the city take theirs back and the county take theirs back, what would be the difference in E911 operators that we'll have to have if the city take theirs back?
I don't see any because we allocated for 15, so I would be 12. For myself, it'd be 13. So it's like 3 to a shift.
So,
When
so we only lose 3 people for us that come from the city only have 3 dispatchers?
No, the city had like 5. They had 2.
When you look at,
They had 5.
when you look at the numbers,
It's
of
5.
911
Oh,
calls,
I mean, I know.
the sheriff, we get a third
That's
of the
it.
calls. The rest go to PD and for fire, and I don't know, would you still be dispatching some of the fire calls? Or everything would be, fire would be coming, but,
Well, whatever they do, it still has to come through us. We transfer the calls. Is that correct, right?
No,
We transfer it to them, right?
Mr. President.
you can only get county calls.
And that, what they asking is,
Well, we need
if
to
you go
have
back to
dispatch
where,
with-
like it used to be, when the city had theirs and the county had theirs, how many people would you need in your
For the
department
county side.
to just deal with county calls?
About 4 or 5.
That's it.
That's what I was.
That's what we used to have, and,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay.
It'll be a,
Hopefully it won't
But
get
we,
there.
it'll be a significant
Yeah.
difference with buying equipment and
right,
everything like
So-
that, that's why. I said.
we're gonna follow this up at the next meeting when we have some more information. Yes, sir, Ms. Bradford?
Yeah, let me comment, it's not that simple. I know everybody won't just move, but the way it works is the county gonna have to take liability of all the equipment. That's where your money comes in, the equipment, the upkeep of it. The city, when we first did the interlocal agreement, they only paid for 10 dispatches. They didn't pay for equipment. Now, the county, if we wanna take the equipment, there's a way we can do it, but we have to be responsible for all the equipment. That's the highest thing of it. The initial plan is we get the new equipment, put it in the new building, and we keep the old equipment here just in case something happens. They can come back because you want 2 dispatch centers. So the way we can legally do that is we just have to transfer the calls. Now, if the city want to get their calls, the county can put it's not like a tax or nothing like that, but you can charge them for them sending their calls to their 911 center. It's like, they'll be like a hybrid, but you can get fees that way if they want to do that.
But, Mr. President,
Yes.
so my question, what are you saying, I mean, I want to clarify that, it's the county's responsibility. So are you saying that if the county, hopefully we can work it out, I'll say that, cause I'd like to see it stay together. But if something happens and the county end up having to take their dispatchers, you saying we still responsible for 15 pieces of equipment and we won't need but 4 or 5 people?
No, it's not, The dispatchers, that's personnel. The equipment is what receives the 911 call.
That's what we talking about, equipment.
Right.
Okay.
Now with that, if the county wanna just say, we're gonna only dispatch county calls, y'all have that right to do that. But if the 911 center gonna receive their calls and forward them, you can make the city pay for that. Because at the end of the day, the board of supervisors is responsible for 911 account.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, if we move the center and the city don't wanna pay, if they wanna get their calls, if they wanna transfer, y'all have the right to say, okay, if y'all get these 911 calls, because y'all are responsible for the residents in the city limits, we're gonna charge y'all this amount to help fund, the 911 center. There's other counties that's doing that.
I'm a little confused. You said if we move everything over there and make that the 911 call center, y'all still wanna leave this active down here?
Yeah, it won't be active. What it is, you gotta have a spot to receive the calls. Where all your calls come in, only thing, because it's to save money, if we move all this equipment from here over there, it's gonna be way more expensive because you got your 911 trunk lines, your AT&T lines. So all we have to do is run a T1 line from the basement here over to the new center. So if any event, something happens to the new center, they can move back, and all I have to do is make a phone call and transfer the calls back to this center until we, until that place is repaired or, God forbid something happens to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we've got everything we need to use that building over there as far as, AT&T or fiber optics, whatever we need to do that call, it is already over that way. It's
Well,
not gonna be there, we're not gonna get over there and they say, oh, we can't get it.
Well, no, I'm saying, your 911 calls, your trunk, it's different from regular telephone lines. We're gonna leave that in a secure location in the basement. Because for them to move that, AT&T to move that, you have to shut your 911 system down and move it. We don't wanna do that. Because if you shut your whole system down, you won't receive 911 calls. Strategically, you gotta do 2 positions at a time. So we'll leave this center up. Once they get the building clear, we'll move 2 positions where they can receive 911 calls before we totally shut that one down. And then all we have to do is just route a T1 line. All the calls will be transferred, just like the sheriff department did with PD. The PD will transfer back to the sheriff department. It's the same situation on that.
But what I was asking is, we have every service at that building or near it that we can bring in to handle 911 calls.
Yeah, I think she's gonna just need is just internet for her, running the CAD and stuff like that. So I don't know if they got fiber on that or not.
Yeah, they got fiber.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That'll do it. Okay, was that all, Ms. Phelps?
Yeah, that's
We'll,
all
and
I had.
we'll talk at
So
the
y'all
next
can
meeting.
get back with me at the next meeting and give me.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have some more information.
Will
Ms. Middleton.
will y'all schedule that meeting before y'all and do a walkthrough?
Mr. President,
Yes.
so today is Wednesday. In between now and our next meeting, are we gonna meet with the city and Don Hesses on out and go and figure out, what the plan is? Because right now, we don't have a plan. We have a plan, but they need to be at the table to just say, well, we in with y'all, or we not gonna do it, or whatever the case may be, where we can move forward.
Our next meeting's in 12 days, so, can you set up a meeting, or we already got a meeting with the city council?
This is a joint meeting.
Got one Monday.
We got a meeting Monday.
Administrator and me and the clerk,
Let me,
mayor have a meeting on Monday.
Mr. President,
I'll
let me,
be glad to join you if you want.
let me ask you a question. Scott, since they have, 1, 4, and 5 in an election, would it make any difference for them to enter into an agreement while they're in an election, whatever?
Still do that.
Yeah, no matter what, even if they were all unopposed, they could always void that agreement at the end of the term. Typically, we could have done that with fire and never did, but that's something.
So we can make an agreement, and when July comes and get their new people, they can vote.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
But they can do it if it's the same people, either way.
Because it's a new term.
Yes, sir. Now, there'd be practical problems with doing that, as Brad alluded to a bit. We do buy the equipment, so if they wanna go on their own, that makes it tough draw for them. And we have kinda used that before when they, you know,
Well, hopefully we'll have all.
ain't acting right, I guess.
Well, we'll have some more information hopefully by, our next meeting. Before we go back to departmental reports, we need to approve these documents. Hey, everybody looked at.
So,
Moved by Mr. Middleton, second by Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Ayes have a motion approved. All right, next departmental report.
Good morning, Dean Price, purchase clerk for Adams County Board of Supervisors. I would like to spread a procurement card across the minutes for approval for January.
So moved.
second.
Moved by Mr. Gaines, second by Mr. Middleton. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion approved.
That's all I have. Any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank
Thank you.
you. Next.
Good morning, board. I just got a couple things. First of all, I want to request that the Adams County Board of Supervisors, we shut the safe room down, for the month of August, so we can do maintenance and do painting, for, shut down for non-emergency use only, like rent it out to weddings and stuff like that. So we can get in, we got a lot of the maintenance issues we need to take care of, repaint the building, put some more electric outlets up, so we wanna make sure that we block that whole month off, so we can get and make those repairs.
Unless we have an early hurricane.
Yeah, it's just for, like, when people wanna rent it and come, things like that, we just need to shut it down.
Have they checked with Quebec to see if
They got
it's
in that
pre-booked
schedule.
already?
Well, that's what I'm saying, we need to cancel that because we got to get that new maintenance. And I
Not if a
understand,
person got a wedding, I'm not counseling somebody's
Wait,
wedding.
hold up.
You never get close.
Mr. President, what needs to happen is you need to get with Corvette. Hold. You just get with Corvette and y'all come up with a month that ain't nothing going on, or they got one thing going on that's not gonna affect them people, and come back and then we'll do that.
that's why I said I was already done the homework on it. That's why I
Well,
said.
well,
So
then
you know
just
that-
ask.
No, I'm saying, we need to stop it now in case you try to book one. We don't
There's
have
nothing
to wait to
booked.
book.
There's nothing booked.
There's nothing, but all time we're doing was
Okay.
AK.
All right,
That's what I asked.
so Corvette needs a memo saying the safe room
That's what.
is going to be, closed, during August.
We can do that on motion, but make sure we provide no, we wanna make sure there's not canceling any of
Yeah,
these.
yeah.
That are already booked.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wanna make a motion closing the safe room out to anything
And then,
other than emergency,
Corvette County, yeah,
unless there's already something booked, and then we'll have to work around it.
I'll make that motion.
Is that complicated enough for you? I need a second. Second by Ms. Hutchins. Any more discussion?
Will y'all be cleaning the outside?
Yeah, we're doing a total, cause we got a lot of rust spots,
Yeah.
lights, so we need to do some total cleaning.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Next, I did talk to Johnny this morning, he was gonna talk to Energy. We need to put up some more lights for the parking lot, cause it is a little dark. The flood lights we have on the building, they're not, putting enough illumination out to, because we do have a lot of dark spots in that parking lot at night. So he's gonna talk with Energy, probably putting at least 2 to 3 lights by the dumpster in that corner, and one on the other side by the pool, today shining those lights. And maybe one on the high school side, so, he's gonna come back and they give us a price on that, what it probably costs a month over there. It probably won't be that much, cause they'll be just night lights anyway, when the dawn come on, they'll come on, so they'll be automatic on that. So we just need approval for the board to go forward with that, if they can do it.
So moved.
Second.
Additional lighting for
Safe
safe
room.
rooms.
Mr. President,
Uh,
I know they ain't gonna do this, Brad, but make sure when they put that additional light up, we do have some trees over there. Make sure that the trees ain't blocking the light.
But I think that's why John was trying to strategically put them where, they won't be blocking. That's a good idea.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Motion carries.
Okay, the next thing is I need, I know we did it before, we talked about the showers for the safe room. That's something we definitely need, cause we try to utilize the pool, but the pool don't have heat. And they're open and they're not conducive for, shelter. And it was just a bad timing on that for this last week. that we ran into people coming in that need showers, and we was unable to, allow them to shower. You know, I feel bad as emergency manager, knowing that we have to be able to provide those basic necessities for our residents, or if anybody evacuated here. So, you know, I request we need to start back accepting bids, for our possible showers. I know we did it before, and they came in a little high, we didn't have money. So we need to try to find some funding. And I think I may have some funding available through MEMA, through the REP program, because, Copiah County opted out the Grand Gulf state plan. So pretty much most of those personnel that they was getting, we got to split amongst the other counties, so we're gonna be getting their funds. So, but I need to start getting the bid so I can set a price to MEMA, saying this is what it's gonna cost for us to do showers, that, you know, they may pay 75.
They won't do them. We talked with them yesterday about them, and they say that they do not provide funding for showers.
No, that you talking to MEMA?
Yes.
No, REP is a different thing, the radiological plan, so that's what I'm saying. MEMA themselves can't do it, I'm going for the REP program. It's a different program.
Alright.
Because we have to, we signed an agreement that we help Grand Gulf, we're gonna try to get Grand Gulf to pay for it.
You might be able to try CDBG on it too, because it does service seniors and yeah, that, so maybe you could ask Lynette.
Yeah, but we need to be it first, this is something we gotta have, you know.
I should have one with the drawings in a day or two.
So, you need a motion for him to get bid, I'll make a motion for him to, get bids for the shower.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Gaines, second by Ms. Hutchins. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carried.
That's all I have, Board.
Go ahead.
No, you wanna do it?
No,
Okay.
you go do
We also talked with MEMA yesterday about the derby, the removal of the derby. And I know you came up with this nonprofit committee, but we cannot, they say we cannot use a nonprofit. The board themselves have to select a committee. So each board member has to pick one person to serve on the committee.
So for the long-term recovery committee?
Yes.
Right, what I'm saying is, that's why we're meeting with supervisor, I was gonna bring that up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we're meeting with supervisor, remember I told you before, each one picking, that's why I went to the city. So the city can pick a person too to have on the committee itself. So that's the whole intent of it is, and what it is, it has to be, when you do that, the supervisor is not directly involved on because when you get the money has to funnel through that long-term recovery committee, which has to be a non-profit organization, because that money we get can't pay for administrative fees, can't pay for, personnel, they only pay for materials. So that's what, that's what I'm saying, so I'm tracking on that,
Okay.
But that is true, y'all have to pick, that's why we have a meeting March the 6th, and only if it's certain supervisors, certain aldermen to come and get people from their district, their ward, to serve on the community along with, other people that's in the community.
Mr. President, so how many you need? Because when you saying alderman pick and supervisor pick, how many people you need on the committee?
Well, you need a representation, because I know some of y'all wards and big, districts merge. So that's why I was trying to see if y'all can get together with y'all counterparts and give me those individuals, because you want representation from every community in the county. So won't nobody be left out. So it won't say that we only fixing District 1 houses and not District 5 houses, District 4 houses. So that's why we need buy-in from everybody on this.
So how many do you need?
I'm saying they're gonna be up to the elected official how many y'all wanna appoint. If y'all wanna say, because I don't know how y'all wards and, District 1, if y'all share this.
You just need one person from every
district.
Yeah, well, I'm saying give it to the city too, so make sure the city.
I know, I mean, the city wards and district,
Are same.
are the same, so.
But I'm saying they gonna, I'm saying y'all counterpart, y'all have to pick, I can't make that determination.
We just going by what we heard yesterday.
And we're gonna make the decision.
Right, I understand,
Maybe want to explain to him about what they said of MEMA, even though we don't meet the threshold when if we don't have a disaster and we're still under a flood or something like that, we can't claim anything on our roads, but as far as houses, it's up to like $250,000 they'll pay if it's any house damages, but.
Right, that's where the long-term recovery
Correct,
comes
yeah,
in.
correct.
Those are
They
the
went
ones,
through all
that's
this
what we have.
yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones, that's why we trying to get them, because a lot of people don't have insurance.
Correct.
And we can use that money to,
That's
just
right.
pay for shingles and, cause everybody asks for tarps.
That's correct.
I'm gonna give you, Mr. President, I'm gonna give you a perfect example, but they was there too. So, like what happened up in the Tunica, right down from Tunica,
Rolling forward.
they didn't have their business in order, so they had to go through Holmes County. Holmes County had to turn around and send the money to them, because Holmes County got everything they need. They gave Holmes County an example of 2 or 3 different counties.
Yeah.
They had to go through Holmes County, and then Holmes County turn around and send the money to whoever wasn't set up for it.
Right.
And that's because they did not have that committee. So that is important that we do have a committee, otherwise the funding don't want to trickle down to us.
Right, that's important, because that's why I've been pushing it, because last time we had Hurricane Delta, remember, we had to have another organization to get the money that we had to give to and stuff like that. So we wanna make sure we get this in place, I want to get this in place this year. So like I said, March the 6th, we got our first meeting, I know, some, aldermen are coming to that. So March the 6th at the safe room at 9 o'clock, we'll try to meet, and try to come up with a plan.
I thought that was at the safe room, March 6th and 7th, was our open enrollment.
We got a kitchen, we're gonna get.
Okay,
a kitchen.
good. I just-
Yeah, we're not gonna be over there.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, they gonna be putting hamburgers and all that in the kitchen.
So I'll be.
That's the only way I come.
All right,
All that, all that.
all right, anything else?
That's all that.
No.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, to our board, and I say, to you also, Brad, we are definitely trying to get in order. But, from that meeting yesterday, I think there was a lot of uniqueness in the room yesterday, because I think that was the first time that we brought, state people, the head people, and didn't realize Mississippi had millions and millions of dollars available. But people don't have, the knowledge is not being out, so he put all the people at the top at the table, all the way down to the bottom. And when we was talking about that plan, if you have a disaster and you do not meet the threshold, there is money, but this committee had to be in place. That's really important for us to get on our game. But one of the other things that I always talk about is togetherness. It is important for us to be good neighbors, because Jackson was one, Holmes County was one. It was 3 to 4 examples. Just say, for instance, if our board wasn't in place, and we have a good, Jefferson County had a board in place. So we didn't have to lose the money. We could allow it to go to Jefferson County to move it on to us. So, I know everybody have a good, trying to build relationships. And I think, I wanna continue to build relationships with the neighboring counties. And, the more we can get together, I think helping in the area of Southwest Mississippi will be helping the whole Southwest Mississippi.
Yeah, that's a great thing, because, you look at Adams County, you may not realize it, all these other small counties depend on us.
Yeah.
And they do, the supervisors, they speak highly of you guys, because, that's what it's all about, setting an example in the southwest part of this state. And I notice, once we get ours done, the other counties, they're gonna follow suit, or we, because they depend on us a lot during disasters, because they just don't have it.
Yeah.
We just blessed in Adams County, so, I think supervisors, let's go ahead and get this moving forward, so we can help these residents.
We've been on it for a while.
Huh?
We've been on it for a while, we just never got it done.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that's like Supervisor Gaines said, trying to pull people together, because I can't do it myself. I gotta have people in the community, I gotta have volunteers. Because y'all know just like I know, if people find out that, you ain't paying them, they don't wanna do nothing for their own community. But it's gonna, we need people from the community that, these are your kin folks, I'm from the Mississippi Delta, I have no kin folks here. But I'm gonna serve these residents.
You got a lot of sisters.
What about the sheriff?
Huh?
What about
That's
the
my
sheriff?
brother-in-law.
Hey, you got a lot of sisters brothers in here, man.
That's not kinfolk. Okay, all right, anything else?
Yeah, that's all. Huh?
So that's going back to home.
No, I ain't gonna about that.
Oh, dig
So,
They still,
Mr. Middleton,
hey
ask a question.
Brad, something I've talked about in the past, if we, and it sounds like we are gonna move forward with moving dispatch out to the new building. Let's not forget about that generator.
Yeah, which one?
Parkway,
Yeah, that's,
not been used. We
Yeah,
can
but
move it to that building and.
that generator's too big for it. You got the size of the building for what it is, you know, that building not a phase 4, trying to put that generator on it, it's gonna be too much power. You're gonna start a fire, you gotta get a
It
generator.
can't be stepped down?
No, you can't, not with a generator that size. You know, I know the only, we talked about moving that generator to the courthouse, because it's a bigger building, and that's where we was designing for that generator to go, because it'd be perfect for the courthouse. I think that's when Joe was here. I think Scott, remember that? Yeah. Yeah, because they wanted to sell us a new generator, we had one that was not being used, so we like, well, we can move this one to the courthouse. So, yeah, we do have a smaller generator that we can.
Put there?
Well, just, we got to outfit it, so once we start working on building, that's what we're gonna do, outfit work and just plug and play.
Okay.
Yeah, cause like I said, you know, we don't need to purchase a new,
No.
yeah, so.
I knew we had one sitting around, that's why.
Yeah, we got a couple of them that we can plug in small, not that big, yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bradford. Departmental reports, do you have something, Mr. Blount? You didn't have anything?
No, not.
Okay.
Good morning, board.
Right.
First of all, we'll start off with the EWPs. I put a handout out, up there where we submitted 20 EWPs from this last rain event. And it was 5 approved. But I do have a call in, email in to Mike Green on 3 that I have concerns on. And, she texted me while I was here, said Mike had responded, and then he was gonna get together with the 3 more, but that is the one that we submitted, the one that was approved, and it tells why they wasn't approved. That's the first thing I want to put, I had any questions on that. Alright, the second thing I have, Kimpro comes in twice a year, does a spray, and they do a winter spray, and then they do a spring spray, and it's time to get it sprayed, and I put it up there, Mr. Wilson, in front of you, it's $14,170.80.
Is it in my folder or is it on?
I put it up there loose. Yeah,
Okay,
and we do that every year, they spray twice a year, so it's nothing new.
so I need a motion to approve the Kimpro spraying $14,170.
Yeah, go on, make a motion, I mean, but we do it twice a year, I always try to have a motion, I figure I bring it forward before I do it, something that.
Alright, so moved.
Moved by Mr. Gaines,
Second.
second by Mr. Middleton. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Motion carries.
Scott, I don't know if you talked to trash disposal, on their tip and feet,
What's that?
trash.
Not lately.
Okay, they sent me an email, I put it up, there this morning to, President Wilson, you see it up there?
Yeah, $6 per cubic yard.
Yes, you know, Scott, they were at 5 when we started this deal, and it's an email, so they wanted to go up as March 1st, but I brought the email here to give to Mr. Wilson, you might wanna look over.
You wanna see it?
Contract or whatever with Triad, I don't know what we have in place for it.
Yeah, well, I know maybe 6 or so months ago, we had talked with another guy out on IP, seeing if they could do it. We need to pick that fund back up and see if that's available.
Yeah, he was talking about putting a grinder in out there at the, where they take the logs and all in, nettles.
Is that just debris?
He would still want
That's
to.
just debris is what now we carry more than debris out there. I mean, we do carry our limb truck debris out, but we still, when he goes out, picks up other things on the side of the road, we do carry it out there. You know, that's where the residents carry, you know, weekend carries or whatever they have at no charge, to them, and they do have a roll-off there that they do take households, like we take at our convenience station for just a help to them, because when the residents go on the weekend, they have some households that throw it on the ground, so now we'll just ask them, and they put a roll-off there, to get that. With our garbage company, you know, they have to.
Okay.
So it was just something I wanted to bring before the board and let Scott
He'll
look
look
at
it
it,
over
he
and
had sent it
figure it
to
out.
me this, last week, so I just, bring that NRCS sites, I took care of those. Illegal dump sites, I have one on Azalea Lane, and I have one on McGee Road. I don't know, I'm gonna try to get some information on this McGee Road. It's been a lot going on out there in the last 2 months with these tires. We have cleaned that up several times. It hadn't been that many tires, but it would be 10 or 12 rolled off on the side of the road. Now they're bringing trailer loads and putting on the side of the road. So I do need those two sites improved where we can.
I think before you clean it up, I think you put some cameras out there to catch it.
Figure out.
Well, you know, that's what I said, I had to think I need to do it, that's what I'm.
Okay, we won't talk about it.
Jan.
That did
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it. I want to know we got cameras out there, 'cause I don't want it to be no surprise. If you stupid enough to go dump and you know somebody got a camera out there, then that means you don't care nothing about the law.
Need a motion to declare these dump sites on Azalea Road and
McGee Road.
McGee Road.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Gaines, second by Mr. Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All in favor? Aye. Thank y'all. Motion approved.
I have one spoiled dirt request, should have that up there.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson, it's on Hudson Landing Road, Willie Shepherd.
All right. Spoiled dirt request, need a motion. Moved by Mr. Gaines,
Second.
second by Mr. Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Motion carried.
That's all I have, unless you don't have anything for me.
Do have one thing I wanna ask you about, you remember me telling you about the bridge on Highway 61 South, just past Nathan Gaucher's place? The guy that works on boats.
Yes.
I saw him yesterday and he said that thing is terrible and he wanna make sure that somebody with the Department of Transportation looked at it. I know you called somebody.
I've called them 2 or 3 times. I want to know record, I've called them 2 or 3 times about that, and they said they have it as a project and they're waiting to do the work.
He said it's much, much worse.
So I will
I
call them
I wanted
again.
to bring that to your attention because you have more contact with them than I
Yeah,
do.
I'll call them.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Robert, also, I think I mentioned to you over the last week or so, I think Sago, did I mention to you about, I talked to Janet about the tree fell across on the
I met
wall.
right there. I met down in about there the next morning.
But,
Still real
no,
bad.
on that, we've been out there before, you know, the drain in the front yard ways, you know when we look, all the water kind of comes down and go in the drain before his house and go down, so it's actually flooding him, and I told him it got an 18, looked like an 18 drain pipe, and I think it's kind of stopped up further down there. But what I want to do is, make the border where I think a long time ago it said it was an easement through there that JKS had went down, had an easement, and they put the drain down. So we're gonna look at the easement and probably have an engineer, we'll get together. I want us to look at it because you can see where when it gets a major rain like we had, but you know which we don't have a big enough drain, but it's overflowing out of the concrete where it go in and it's running down his yard and it actually have shift the bricks on his storage house right there where that water running down, you know, he's got a storage house there, his yard is actually lower, so when it jumps out the drain, when the drain bags up, it's pushing back up, it's going down through his yard. And
My question to you, not to cut you off, but it's where we added that piece of pipe that he asked us to in the front, when he comes there and it ties and goes down beside his house.
That's right.
We got a drop box in there.
The
We got
drop
a drain
box.
on top of that drop box. That's where it's coming up out of the drop box.
it's coming up out the drop box, so
I need to go to the end and see
That-
if it's restricted.
well, so what I'm thinking, I did walk the drop box. The end of the drop box is not restricted.
Okay.
I'm thinking what happened, you can see where the water build up so high in the banks. I think further down the drainage, down the bayou,
Yeah.
somewhere down there, cause there's trees and
Well, that's
washed
where
off
we're
and
gonna tie
fell.
together where the trees that failed.
And what it's doing is pushing the water up. So I don't know if it's an easement, maybe we can clean that easement. I think that'll take care of the water coming back out the drop box.
Get what I invest, but I'm pretty sure it's an
Easement, yeah, okay.
I'll get what
I just wanted to mention to you,
Okay.
so everybody know where we at.
You're up, Shane. I think I'll take anybody else.
Thank you.
morning, board, I just have a few things. First thing is, I believe you have, Mr. President, you have 2 new hire requests, one for deputy and one for the jail. One should be here.
Only one I have is for, juvenile detention.
I have them signed.
You got,
I have copies signed by
Okay.
HR.
These are replacements?
Yes, we're still very short.
okay, Rakita C. Washington, new hire, $16.81 an hour, $34,964.80 yearly. And the other one is, Yasmin N. Patterson, new hire, $13.23, the jailer, $27,518.40 yearly. I need a motion for these hires.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Gaines,
Second.
second by Ms. Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it, motion approved.
Yesterday, we received a letter of resignation from Deputy Kevin Wells, who will be leaving. 28th will be his last day. He's going to the police department for more pay, so that'll be coming. We'll have him clear HR before he leaves as part of it. Also, just to give the board a little bit of a.
Has he been in the, how long's he been a deputy with us?
A little over a year.
A little over a year?
Came from the PD.
He came from over there.
He came from PD?
Yeah.
Okay, so we didn't send him to the.
No.
Do you have a copy of the
I mean,
resignation?
we get our money.
I do, I can give you. Okay, sure.
He came from over there, came here, now he going back.
Okay, we need a, motion to approve that letter of resignation.
You got it?
Moved by Ms. Hutchins,
Yeah.
second by Mr. Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it, motion approved.
We were at the meeting yesterday as well. We had a breakout with the law enforcement, and there were several grants. Just putting the board on notice, we will be coming to y'all and asking approval to see some of those grants. We have a meeting tomorrow, with Ms. Washington, I believe at 1:30, and some of those topics will come up both on vehicles and equipment, that we're gonna try to pursue, going forward. So that's all I have for the board.
Mr. President. Yeah, one of them probably is one I was gonna bring up in my report, is that, that you probably already gonna bring it up, it's the $50,000 that you can get for inmate transport for picking up trash, but that's one of the grants.
Yes, sir, for a vehicle.
For a vehicle, you pay $50,000, if, they'll give you $50,000 for to buy a vehicle as long as inmate transport. But the other part, and I think everybody's here, I know the sheriff was on it, but, I know we're tight, and I said this to the board, I don't know how many calls y'all get, and I know all of us ride, but we are having a really uptick in garbage being, dropped along the road. I get more and more calls, I know maybe the service can't hardly keep up, I try not to get them too much. I know I had them clean up Morgantown, Steam Plant, Broadmoor, and the next week I had a call saying, well, we need to pick them up. I said, did you see we just picked them up? I mean, I had them out behind Kaiser Lake, picking up, and I think everybody called me and said, well, I think I had the most trashy road in the community. And to be honest with you, it's all around our community, but we had looked into possibly looking at tag readers. You know, until we do something, I know it's gonna be a little hard, but until somebody start getting the fine, till we can start catching people and writing tickets, I think it's gonna get just like that dump site on McGee Road. They start with 7, now you get 40 or 50 tires. You know, we had a little bit of trash, and it's so disrespectful now. You can have the inmates cleaning up a road, and I promise you by they leave, by the time you leave, if you come back down and 3 or 4 hours later, they already start putting garbage. So I say, I don't know, I ask you to look at the sheriff and I ask the board, I I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I know we might not be able to afford, if we can't afford but 2 or 3, we don't know what it is, we do need to put something out to try to curb all this littering going on in the community.
So the last 3 months, we've been down to a crew and a half. We're back up to 3 crews now. So 1 on the state highway, 1 on the county highway, and then a maintenance crew. Between them not acting right and getting sent back over to Highway 15 and then just being short-handed, we're back up to 3 crews now. But some of the crews only have 2 people on.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a struggle, but they are up as far as all 3 crews out working now. That did happen as of the first of this month.
Yeah, well, what I want you to do is get with the sheriff and see, because he has started working on the price on our tag readers. But he see what some tag readers gonna cost. At one time we were talking about maybe 1 per district or something like that. But get us some kind of quote so we'll have some direction we can go in.
Okay. I hate to cut you off. I'm gonna turn the meeting over to Vice President Middleton, and I'll be back as soon as I can for the executive session. I just have an appointment. I gotta be.
I'm going with you.
Okay, you don't wanna go that way? I'm not going to see Donald Trump. I'll see y'all shortly.
Is there any other
How you doing?
questions?
I got a call from a lady on Southmore Drive, and
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna show you this dog.
Is it a white dog?
No, this ain't white. Just a big old puppy. He's big.
They were literally just out in Southmore just.
And she scared to come out to go get her mail because the neighbor next door saying that he ain't gonna do nothing. But when I went out there, he didn't bark at me, but he a big old dog.
What's the address?
Address is, I think it's 318 Southmore.
Okay.
And I understand the process that we have in the county, but 318 is where the dog is. This old lady say he's aggressive towards her.
I'll have Miss Karen go out there today.
Thank you,
Actually,
sir.
I mean, she was literally out there this morning on another dog on the loose call, pit bull running around Southmore area.
And I wanna congratulate the sheriff and his crew for trying to lobby the legislature for that money to get law enforcement a raise. Y'all underpaid. I know you need a raise, and pray that the state legislature see the same thing that everybody else say and use some of that money they have to get law enforcement a raise. Not only that, they need to, I mean, I ain't never seen a state have so much money built up in short of people in the crime lab. You got short of people in this lab, you got short of people in that lab, but you want to brag on how much money you got. That don't make sense to me. Use some of that money to make Mississippi a safe place. Thank you.
And it's not the right time, or especially time during the budget, but that's the last 5 people we've lost for higher paying jobs.
Well, the city paying more than that.
Well, 2 to the city, 2 to highway patrol, 1 to the DA's office, and that's over 40 years experience of officers. Now we gotta start from scratch. We can't get certified officers to come over laterally, so we gotta start from scratch. So it's a year from the time we hire them to we send them to the academy, get them trained, and then out on the street, and then even then they're just super young. So, you know, it's a struggle, we're working through it, but, you know, this isn't the time to have that conversation. So, thank you.
All right, any more departmental reports? If there are no more, we'll go to public comments. Any public comments?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to start off first by telling y'all thank you for what all you do for our county and our community. And I've just got one thing here, and I've got some pictures to share with you. This is in reference to the trash, and we got talking about the trash and stuff. On February the 8th, this was the day after I had just paid my bill, which y'all know that it absolutely doubled, so I was very conscientious of this when this occurred. I had just that morning picked up trash on my street right in front of my house, and then I see this. Now, how often this is occurring? Maybe I don't want these extras. I don't know how often this is occurring. Somebody else, I don't see my trash being picked up twice a week, okay, when they come. But this, I happen to be driving on my driveway, and I'm seeing these people picking up my trash in a dump truck. Now,
Excuse me, can you go
I'm
to the
sorry.
top and
I'm
say
sorry.
your name?
I'm sorry.
and your
Okay,
address?
my
Your
name is
and
Annie
address.
Graham. My address is 39 Howard Road, District 5. And I have spoken to my supervisor about this, also to the president. As anybody knows, if you ever haul anything in a pickup truck, what is the chance of it flying out? Unless you have got something heavy on it, it's gonna fly out. And more than once, y'all talked about trash being dumped on this road and how much time it's taken care of. The second picture is right around from my road where there's trash. Now, do I think that that was the next day after that? Do I think that that trash, that second picture is on, is coming from that truck? No, I don't. I think that trash has been there for days. But I have no idea how often trash is being picked up in a pickup. I don't know what your contract was with the people that we signed up with when they doubled, but I would think that they were supposed to be using a normal truck to pick up trash where it doesn't fly out of anything.
Yeah, it probably depends on the weight limit of that particular road. You do have a satellite truck. Is that what we're talking about?
What is a satellite truck?
It ain't a Dodge Ram 15.
Who is that?
I don't really
He's
know.
picking up trash.
No, I ask because, you know, there are crazy people, whether they're in Adams County or not, that do go through people's trash. You hear of it for purposes of, you know, other purposes. I don't know, but I don't think. Cause I asked this guy, who are you and who are you with? Are you with the sanitation department? And he said, yes, we are. Our truck is broken. We don't have another truck.
Yeah, typically your satellite truck has a little house on it, you know, you might say.
So our contract with the people y'all signed up with has satellite trucks?
I'm sure they do. Every garbage collection company does, because you got weight limits on roads and trucks break down or you miss a pickup, you want to send the entire
So
big
no,
truck.
they don't usually have an extra truck when a truck breaks down?
No, and it wouldn't make sense if it's because of your weight limit, and also you wouldn't send a big old truck to pick up, you know, one in this neighborhood. If that makes sense.
Are you telling me that what this is right here?
I don't know what that is.
Okay?
I didn't see the picture.
Let me ask you a question. I got the same call, and somebody sent me a picture, and it looked like the same truck, but now this truck looked like it have a tarp on it.
No,
And
that truck looks like that. is-
no, the picture I have.
Oh,
I
okay,
got
the
a
truck.
picture too.
Cause you're in District 4,
Cause
correct?
it wasn't in my district where it happened. It was going down narrow road, so they told me the reason they sent the truck down there because it's easier to send that small truck down that narrow road than to send that big truck. That's what they told me.
But that's
And,
not the case in mine, because I have seen a big truck come down my road lots of times.
and it is the same truck, but this one, I guess somebody must got on when they put a tarp or something on it. But I think we need to address it.
Yeah, we can.
It's something that we need to address. We need to get them in and have a conversation and find out what's going on.
Well,
That's what
my
needs
thing
to happen.
is that I would like for you, I don't know how long this contract is with these people, but at the time our contract ends, I would like to revisit that for the county, the savings of the money for your community. I feel sorry for these people that are on a fixed income with social security that can't afford this.
We can scan the picture and send it over to the company, ask what's going on.
But he definitely said that he was with the sanitation department, I asked, so. I would just appreciate it if, I don't know what your contract rules say or anything, if there's any way that we can end this contract and try to go further with someone else, or at the time it does end, that y'all would revisit that and try to get us at a lower cost, and people that are efficiently, especially with all the complaints of all the trash that you're talking about, that we have in Wahoo. And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rabb. Any more public comments? At the time, we're gonna come to the table. Supervisor Gray?
Yes, sir, Mr. Vice President. We did go to DC, and I think some good things came out of it, especially for Supervisor District 3. She did get her good money. But to make a long story short, I am part of the Transportation Committee on the federal level. And as far as I know, you got people all over from a lot of different counties part of this Transportation Committee. And you have 3 people from the state of Mississippi that's on this committee. And they keep reappointing me to this committee. And I don't have a problem with it because I always say either you at the table or you're on the menu. So right now I'm at the table, especially transportation cover the airport, and transportation also cover the port. And that's 2 of the packages that we took to Washington, D.C., and that's part of my committee. We did get a chance to talk to some department heads, and we did get a chance to hear from the President of the United States. And let me say this, part of my transportation committee, I'm gonna tell you what they do. They send something to our congressional leaders and the President to let them know, because not only do Adams County have a problem when we get money on the federal level, they send it to the state, and then the state put their stipulations on the money. I use Morgantown Road for example, and we have problem getting the money clear. When I was with the city, we had the 592 project with $8 million. We didn't have those stipulations on that money because they didn't send it to the state. So they trying to get it where they're gonna try to bypass sending money to the state and send it directly to the counties. And I think that'll benefit a whole lot of counties because a lot of politics being played when you got a Democrat president sending money to a Republican state. I ain't got to tell y'all what happened. And vice versa, when you got a Republican president sending money to a Democratic state, the same thing happened. So it goes both ways. And we went to, and I got this, and I don't know what this board want to do. I think we need to look over it. AmeriCorps, and we mentioned AmeriCorps a while back, and I think we need to do whatever we can to try to get AmeriCorps in here, since we our own record as being over 30% poverty and got all these old houses in this community. Maybe we can get AmeriCorps in here. I know we used to have a youth bill, but we couldn't get it back to help fix up some of these old houses. Let me say this. This is one of our news letters that they sent us from Washington, D.C. And I don't know if it was a year or 2 ago that I went to a conference in Memphis, Tennessee, and they had a problem with titles. People buying houses and not changing the title and still holding the title in somebody else's name. Well, here was in this newspaper. Fixing titles open up doors for black homeowners. They say they paid for their house, they managed their house for years. Decades later, in other words, back then they wasn't able to really buy a house, so some of their white counterparts helped them to get the house, and the title wasn't necessarily in their names. So when these people died, they having problems passing their houses on to their kids because the way it was done back then, But a county in Michigan came up with, and I would like to see us do this. They call it Home for Generations, where we get with judges and lawyers or whatever the case may be, and somebody got air property and got a problem with the title being put in a kid's name or whatever the case may be, then this judge and this lawyer would work with them to make sure that they can get this house in the right name, because everybody want to pass their house on to their kids or whatever the case may be. So they call that Home for Generations. Now, yesterday, been elected official a while, and I never seen what happened yesterday at this little deal at Colin that we went to, Mississippi 2nd Congressional District, Resource Directorate, County elected officials, Congressman Benny Thompson at Colin. I didn't know how important it was to put a name to a face, but we got a chance to meet DRA, MDQ, the Department of Transportation, FEMA, Planning Director, Districts, Public Service, MDOT, HUD, the Federal Marshals, NRCS, EPA, anybody in the state of Mississippi that got a health department. And from my knowledge, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because y'all was there. At some point of time, from what I heard, health department head and some of these people, they need to show their face right here in this boardroom. We don't see none of these people. We just got a new commissioner in the Southern District. I didn't even see the old ones. And people call me about Martin Luther King. They call you Supervisor Gaines about Martin Luther King. The state of Mississippi is supposed to keep that up. But it's hard to keep something up when you can't communicate with the people in office. So now we have a new commissioner, and we need to do a better job. Maybe we need to, Scott, can you invite him here, the new guy, where we can meet him and put a name to a face? Because right now, what is his name?
Billy.
That's my point. He don't even know his name.
No, I don't know. Sorry.
He's our Southern Commissioner,
Transportation.
Commissioner.
Who was it?
We need
Representative
King.
or a
It
senator?
used to be King.
Yeah, but this guy was a representative or senator up around Hattiesburg.
I don't know. I mean, we had the FBI there. We had everybody that you could name. This, since I've been in office, this never been done before. So, only thing I'm asking is, even Southwest Planning, it's so many, like Supervisor Gaines said earlier, it's so much money out there that's passing us by because we not connecting the dots. And we gotta find a way to get on the same page with Southwest Planning, because it seems like everything and every grant they said go through Southwest Planning. I know they cover 9 areas, but we gotta do a better job in trying to find a way to, we leaving too much on the table, people. And especially with the housing deal, we got some of the worst houses in Ward 4. I can't speak for nobody else ward. And we need to try to find a way, because they got money out there to help these people. We need to try to find a way to give them some help. And last, the park. Let me say this, because I don't want to send the wrong message. I want to stay positive, and I want to do things in decent and order. But everything should have been done different, because they should have told us how much money they needed to do the entire park, and the entire park should have been renovated, because I still remember the time when we had SWAC tournaments down there. I mean, the field looked so amazing. I'm so proud, but we can't have a field looking like that with bathrooms and locker rooms that have molds and all this kind of stuff in it. So we need to put our heads together and come up with a plan and get it right the first time. Scott, I need a copy of the deal I need to get to my people to do with the SNAP grant, the 20,000. I need my little application.
Okay.
For some reason I don't have my application.
Okay.
And last, let's see, I wanna congratulate the Kansas City Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl. I know this ain't got nothing to do with us in this small town, but I also want to congratulate Caitlin Clark for becoming the all-time NCAA women's all-time leading scorer. And I think that young lady gonna go on and do great things for women's basketball. And my sympathy goes out to one of my good friends that live down in Allen's Bottom. The bottom will never be the same when I ride down there no more, because to make a long story short, she was the only black person left down in Allen's Bottom that actually owned property down there. And she passed away the other day. I was sad to hear that. Miss Donaldson, the Lyles family, the Jones family, the Washington family, the Turner family, the Bates family, the Mullins family, and the Hartwell family. And I don't mean to take up too much time, but we in an era where we're gonna have to do a lot more praying for not only ourselves, but our community, our state, and our nation. Because what happened up in Kansas City after they won the Super Bowl and had a parade and people just shooting and doing all this kind of crazy stuff, I just don't understand what's going on in this world. And Mr. President, I just want to wish everybody, they did have a Black History Parade, and I didn't drive my truck because it was so dirty, but I did go down there and just participated in it. And I don't like talking about Black history too much, because Black history is more than just February. To me, every day is Black history. And I just want to thank all the people that came before me, that paved the way and made it possible for me to serve as the Alderman Award 2 and the Supervisor of District 4. And that concludes my report.
Thanks
What
for
about
that.
Alexis Moore?
Ma'am?
What about Alexis Moore signing?
Oh, yeah, my good friend and cousin Alexis Morris signed with the Harlem Gold Trotters. I mean, that kind of hit me a little bit. I was like, when I got that text, it was amazing. Pray that she do great things with the Harlem Gold Trotters. Thank you for reminding me.
Supervisor Hutchins.
I don't have much because I brought up a lot during the meeting. Some of the things I wanted to talk about, that we experienced, the experience we had with Congressman Thompson. But I do want to thank him for putting that one-stop workshop on, because that's something we've never done since I've been elected, and we never had a congressman to come down and do something like that and get us affiliated with all the people that we need to be affiliated with, because we learned a lot that we did not know. And we also found out that how much funding was out there and what we can apply for and who should be doing the work. So that was great. I really appreciate him for doing that. Another thing is the ARP money. We need to, I think this is the year 2024, that we need to find out some projects that we need to get together and come up with a project that we can continue to work on and maybe in the next 10 years, we can still see what's going on with this funding. They talked about that. I understand there is some ARP money out there from another entity that we can apply for that we may can get also. They talked about it at that one-stop workshop. The next thing I have is some travel that I need to get approved. And I'm gonna do all this travel, so we won't have to come back and do it separately. So Quebec can go ahead and make the reservations, because if we don't get reservations made, we don't end up where we need to be. This is for the MAS conference, June the 10th through the 14th.
It's for everybody.
This is for everybody. Yes, this is a, well, I got more
Every
travel.
item for everybody.
Yeah, it's for everybody. Okay, so I got more. Do you wanna do them separate? Or do them all at once?
All at once.
Okay. Then I got the NAPCO conference, July the 11th through the 16th. And Paige, I'll give you all this too. Okay. Then this is for myself. It's this board of directors. Why I sit on MAS board of directors. It's to Jackson. This is gonna be on March 5th. Okay. Dates.
Do that today.
You saw it? Okay, fine.
What is that?
This is that's NAPCO there. I mean NAPCO.
9th through the 12th.
Okay, and this the AJA conference that I need to go to, and it's May the 12th through the 17th. This is for myself. This is a workforce conference. This is gonna be fully reimbursed, but I do need to get it approved. They taking care of everything. That's it. So I think it's one more.
NAPCO, the
NAPCO.
9th through the 12th.
The 9th through the 12th of July.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Is that all you have, Supervisor?
That's all I have. Thank you.
Supervisor Gaines?
Well, I had a few concerns. I had one, something I told one of the constituents I would bring to the table. They was trying to ask about like our bill pay. I know we do our taxes. They was asking possibly garbage and other things like that. Can we look into, it was specifically garbage, a way that we can have them pay it online? They say a lot more convenient. And I know we did something, I think, in our first 4 years with, you remember, I think we done. What did we do on that, the tax assessment? Was that something you kinda looked up on your president?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? But I think it'll be something that we'll look into. Think that, having where they can pay their bills online instead of everybody coming in. I heard a couple times in the community.
Property taxes?
No, garbage tax, garbage bills, stuff like that, they won't be able to pay them online. But
I'm not sure we could ask, certainly if we've not, that's something we definitely wanna look at for sure.
yeah, that's something that we want, cause, I mean, a lot of people pay a lot of bills online now, that's more convenient. And, I just heard a couple times I was eating, so I wanted to bring it to the board and find out, what do we need to do if we are not doing it? Can we possibly look into it, or do I need to make a motion, or, if we look into seeing what it takes to have our garbage bill paid online?
I'll ask LaShae what she's doing.
We don't really need a motion for that, do we?
I don't see a link on the
No,
website,
And we could ask her to, I feel like LaShae's pretty savvy. She'll come back to us with some options if that's available.
Okay, all right, yeah, and I think I took care of a few of my other things. During the meeting, but I would say we had a really, really good meeting on yesterday. I think it was probably one of the most informative meetings that I've been to since I sat on the board, because I didn't realize, I knew it was money out there, but it's millions of dollars that Mississippi have, and I do remember they said about 38 million that we was about to lose because nobody applied for it. So, I wanna take it up on myself, so, you know, you put everybody, when you put everybody in the room, you get the truth out. So, you know, one of the unique things that I seen about yesterday is all those organizations that Supervisor Gray called out, and I have my booklets in the truck. I think 100% of those organizations have technical support online. I remember one of them was Homeland Security. I remember the 12th and the 14th of March, they have a workshop. They have technical support. They have classes on you. They help you fill out the grant before you apply for it. So, you know, there's no reason that we shouldn't be applying. So I'm not going to point fingers at anybody, but I'm going to bring my 20% to the table. I know I can't apply for them, but I will be looking. I'll be getting with the necessary people, Southwest Mississippi. I know we got a few departments that write grants. I know sometime our administrator will look over some of the things. So I ain't trying to add a whole lot of work, but I will add a little bit if it's gonna bring us a couple $1 million into the county, because we could use it. And I yield the floor, Mr. President.
Thanks, Supervisor. Ms. Daniel, you have anything?
I do. I spoke with Supervisor Gray before the meeting this morning. I know y'all recall that we were looking for someone to take over St. Catherine Creek Authority to be able to do the water samples and all that. So last week, Robbie met with Michael Stewart. He's the manager of the water waste treatment plant, and he has agreed to take over that process. He's got an operator that's also going to help him handle this for us. He just would like to know how much compensation will be, and so I told him I would bring it before you all today so y'all could discuss that. And so what the pay was before was $1,000. So I called him to see if that was acceptable with him, and he said yes, that he would accept that, and that they would go ahead and take that responsibility over for us.
I think that's what we should go with then. If he wanted to accept that $1,000.
I told him I'd help him the first couple of times.
Okay.
I mean, we rode through, it took a couple hours, right?
Okay.
Okay. I'll
Is
make
that
a motion.
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, can I get a second? Second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? I just want to say, this has been an issue we've been dealing with now for a couple of years, and since Robbie, really, maybe 3 years since Robbie quit doing it, and I get a ton of emails on it, so I'm glad we're making a move to correct this issue. So Robbie, thank you, and thanks for helping. Any, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
The next thing I have is I need to request a deposit to be put into the account. The bonds need to be paid for this, and the electricity. So it's been, I think, a couple of years since we made a deposit into this account.
How much?
I mean, how much?
Last time y'all deposited 5,000. The bonds are $787. The electricity roughly runs between $70, $60 a month. The insurance does not come out of this account. We pay the insurance separately. So that will be coming up in June, and that insurance is roughly $8,000.
So what you recommend, 5,000?
If we wanna keep doing it the way we've been doing it, I would put the 5,000 into the account to cover those expenses, and we write a separate check for the insurance altogether.
Mr. President, let me ask you a question. So what account are we gonna pay the guy out of?
It came out of that account as well.
And that's why that 5,000, that's why it hadn't made a deposit, because it hadn't been paid.
Right, nobody's been
It's
paid
gonna
to
take 12
do
years,
that
so I
work.
mean, if you do it every quarter or whatever, you put 3,000 or 4,000 every quarter, whatever y'all want to do, or you put it all in there at one time, whatever.
I just do it every quarter.
Yeah.
But the 5 is just to cover what's due now, that's not any pay.
Right.
Yeah.
So 5 is what due now?
So.
That covers
that's
the bonds
just-
and the power.
And that's what y'all deposited a couple of years ago. And of course, that 1,000 was not being paid
Yeah.
because no one was taken care of.
Okay, so you say that 1,000 were coming out of?
It wasn't
It was not, so
There
it
was
was.
no one was
No,
taking
they
care,
won't
yeah,
be.
Bobby was
So-
taking care of it, he was not being paid for it anymore, so that 1,000,
It was
Okay,
coming out of there, but we haven't
It
been
was
paying.
coming out, but it
Correct.
was not allocated back in
So
there.
what about 10?
Okay,
What about 10?
yeah.
That's for every quarter, you know, you didn't have to do it that much every quarter though.
Yeah,
And 10, and then we should be able to reassess in about 6 months, right?
yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Shouldn't everybody be that much next time, you know? check. You think-
In
what
12
she-
years, just
what she
on,
say,
just on the
on
1,000.
salary, and then whatever she said the monthly.
5 a
bill
quarter.
for, what's the monthly bill?
monthly is roughly $60 to $70, that's electricity.
That's $720 a year.
$1,100, yeah, $1,100 a month. With his pay in that.
So 10 is good?
Yeah.
10 and just watch it, we should be able to make 6 months, but if we
12,
just
5
check back with
years,
us.
take care- I mean, 13, 5 years, take care of it.
Yeah, they want to do it like this, so I make the
How
motion.
many bonds is it?
4.
That's another 3,000.
And we're already getting the bank
You
statements.
good with this,
So
Mr.
they're
Attorney? 'Cause I
roughly-
see
the
you
bonds
rubbing your
run you
head
about
over.
He got something else on his mind.
No, I think that's fine, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Okay, so who made the motion? Motion by Supervisor Gray to deposit $10,000 in the St. Catherine's Utility Fund. Any, I need a second.
second.
Second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. All you have. Ms. Lewis?
I wanna thank Paige for kind of taking the reins on that. She's worked really hard on trying to get all that cleared up and helping, trying to get that in place, so.
Thank you, Paige.
I have the general liability policy, the commercial, insurance and the workers' comp. We're waiting on the certificate. We wanted to spread them all across the minutes at the same time. So just need to get, those 3 policies spread across the minutes first.
You heard the request. Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, Gaines, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Have the tax redemption settlement for January 2024 that needs to be spread across the
You
minutes.
heard the request, Chancellor Clerk.
Move.
Motion by Supervisor Gaines, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries.
And the last item I have, as y'all are aware, they staggered the terms for the election commissioners, and so we had, 3 qualifying statements of intent that were submitted that is required by law to the Chancery Clerk's office. We have to maintain those in perpetuity, so I thought it may just be easier to have them on the minutes. That way, if we, want to search them, we'll have them readily available. Those were for Tracy Goday, Doris Marie Rice, and Francis Thompson Bailey. And I just asked that those, please be spread across the minutes, and they were received on February the 5th, 2024, and verified by the circuit clerk.
Motion by Supervisor Gaines.
Second.
Second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Last item I have is just to have the bonds for March 30th.
Can I get a motion?
So,
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins. Can I get a second? Second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
that's all I have, thank you.
Mr. Slover.
We received 2 bids for the lease purchase of the Dozier, one from Delta Bank at 4.54% and one for Cadence, used to be Bancorp South. Theirs was for 5.78, and so the lowest and best bid for the lease purchase would be Delta. So I've contacted Delta, assuming that y'all want to use them. It's the same standard form that we use with Delta that we've used in the past, except we just updated it with the equipment lease, and so that's the board to approve the lease purchase.
You heard the request, Mr. Board Attorney. Can I get a motion? Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
And we'll get with hopefully Delta this afternoon, and that way they can have
Yeah,
it.
I got the call, cause she texted me, I told her you're approving it now, so. Oh, replaced on call, but it's all right, we good.
And then there were 4 items, they're all, shouldn't take very long, but I wanna talk to them in executive session.
Ms. Wash, does that conclude your report?
That's it.
Ms. Washington, you have anything? No report. All right, President Wilson ran out of here and left me with this folder, so let's see what we got. Looks like I have, Robbie help me if this has already been handled. Letter from the Office of State Aid Road Construction, posting on the bridge on Deerfield. Do you know about that? Pictures need to be taken.
Yeah.
Do you need this?
I do.
I have, this is the wrong slide. Business and Civic League from Jimmy Ware. Natchez Business and Civic League Foundation is applying for federal grant funding to provide educational enhancement skills and mentor programs for at-risk youth within our community, as well as economic development training and seminars to small business owners. We do believe that this will help make our community stronger, more sustainable, and a better place to live and work. Your support with this endeavor will be greatly appreciated. Sure y'all want Scott to look at that.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do?
I guess support them on the grant they're gonna apply for, a letter of support. It said it was
Just a
due,
letter of support?
Scott, it says it was due February 9th, so.
Yeah, it's a rural business development grant. They're asking for the grant to be given applying for federal grant to provide educational enhancement skills and mentor programs to at-risk youth within our community, as well as economic development training. We do believe this will help make our community better.
So it's just a letter of support? That's what they're asking for?
Yeah, they're not asking for a match.
What's the date on the letter?
February 5th, 2021. And we did say we do believe that this is types of services necessary or needed or not. I think it's safe to say we all say.
That's probably when they did the
Yeah.
letter.
I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't commit us to anything.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes. Looks like a request for travel for Larry Hughes, purpose and trip fundamental of real property appraisal. 5 nights, $129 a night, and 5 days of meals, totals $940.
So moved.
Larry Hughes. Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Next, we have travel for James Gray.
That's probably reimbursement.
It's a reimbursement, yeah.
No, it's about reimbursement. You just need to sign it.
This is the invitation to the thing yesterday. This is, what is this, reimbursement for you
For what?
yesterday? 96.46.
Probably travel was supposed to be approved for them to go from last time, I guess.
Now look at it.
It's just yours, as your legal supervisor.
I need to sign something.
Yeah, both of them.
Oh, no, I don't need this. I rolled with Robin here. I don't need this.
That's you two right there. Give me that. So is that, you want me to give them that and delete it?
Yeah.
You just,
Or,
did you really do that?
here it is.
Sure. This can't be right.
Yeah, that's right. It should have been mine and yours in here. Is that yours and mine?
Yes.
Okay, page.
I did this myself.
New hires,
Hey, how you doing?
juvenile detention, correctional officer, hourly rate $12. Name is Brianna Galmore. Annual rate $24,960. There's your motion. Motion by
Second.
Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Gaines.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Is that a replacement or
Is that
New hire.
they're replacing the previous hire?
For where?
Juvenile detention.
They just got
We were just doing new hires. I mean, he needs to come in
He
here and explain.
replaced, yeah.
is replacing.
Reggie, what I got?
Let me ask I got reasons for that.
Well, my motion gonna be pending.
Pending, yeah. Pending is a replacing.
My signature is gonna be pending.
Yeah.
I believe my report, it appears that, one of our appointees to the school board's term has expired, Dr. Bunch. Think you talked to her, I believe.
Yeah, she said she wanted to be reappointed.
She said,
You, anybody got a problem with it?
we have a motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Hutchins, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. We'll do that now. So that concludes my report. Joey, did you have anything for us?
Yes. So I did, I was able to confirm, and I've sent an email to Scott confirming this, but as far as the change order for the scaffolding, I have a quote from Brookhaven Rental for $1,311.91 just for the rental. The contractor also provided 30 man-hours to erect and take down and get the scaffolding back to the, so you gotta have 2 or 3 people to do this, so it takes, a couple of hours, to move this stuff up. This has gotta be built way up, it's not something that you just pop up. He did price a lift, that would be able to reach up under there, that was almost $3,500, so this is the cheaper way to go. So the cost involved is both for the rental and the setup and takedown of the scaffolding. So I believe it's commercially reasonable, I'd ask for your approval.
Mr. Slover.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody's waiting on you.
that's the explanation. That's what we need.
All right, you heard the request of the architect.
Some
Motion by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, I also received documentation, the breakdown of the cost for the fencing and gates, broken down. I assessed the cost of the chain link fencing, because we had chain link fencing in the schedule of values, that we had, as well as the gates. I also, called Hagen Fencing in Baton Rouge to get comparison pricing on, kind of a per foot basis. Apparently there's, this subcontractor's from Winsboro, and there are no licensed and insured contractors other than this contractor anywhere, except Baton Rouge or Alexandria or Jackson is the closest place that, Nathan Stubbs said he could find somebody that would even give him a price. I did confirm with Hagen Fence that these prices are, right where they should be for, it's a small section of decorative fencing, and there's detail, there's gates, and they've gotta attach this, with flanges and welding, and there's a lot of things that have to happen, to it. So I believe, based on, the breakdown that they provided me, looking at the current, prices we have in the contract, as well as a back check of a third party fence company that I do business with all the time, I believe that these numbers are reasonable and should be approved, so I'd ask for your approval.
Mr. Slover.
A legal explanation for it, explain why you need it and so forth.
You good?
I'm good with the legal part of it.
You good with us doing it? I don't care what the legal part say. Are you good with me making a motion to approve it and it's gonna be good?
I mean, it'll be legal, you will not get in any trouble for that.
Well, that's the main thing.
Yes.
So move.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for the confusion.
You done?
Unless you have any questions for me,
Angela said don't come back with any more change orders.
well, I'm gonna come back with plans and a new bid, it sounds like.
All right.
I do think this is all the change orders.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, thank you, guys.
Look, I just received, this information on this new hire at juvenile. Henry Upshaw says replacing part-time employee, no benefits, has them for full-time when employees go on vacation. Max they receive is 25 hours a week.
What happened to the other replacement?
Yeah.
Well, but max they'll go.
Doesn't matter, I mean, if it's replacing somebody else, it's fine, we still got our issue to worry about.
Pass that to Stephanie. Well, we can approve when we come out.
We can approve it.
I got one more thing right quick.
We may have lost to approve the hire,
Yes. Okay. So, Dr. Correct, you have
Mr.
something?
President, I left something out of my report.
We'll get it next time.
Up at the meeting yesterday, we did talk about, the people on Morgantown Road on Brooksview and that area over there with the high water bills. I didn't get a chance to talk to my public service commissioner, but we got a brand new public service commission in the central district, and he's a good friend of mine. He tried to explain what Great River was doing, because Great River taking over a lot of this small water associations. Here go the problem I have. Great River trying, I guess God help me if I'm wrong, trying to put funds in there in case they have to replace lines and all that. But far as I know, the area that they bought in the county, I don't think they had no problem with replacing no lines or whatever the case may be.
Sure, and it's not just your lines, it's replacement of your pumps and all this other stuff. But as you know, and most of the people know, it connects to city water. The city provides them water and at a fixed contracted rate, and then they charge it back to the customers. And that's, I'm not criticizing, it is what it is, but the fact is they took into consideration all the other systems that Great River inherited from the state as a whole when making this decision. And a lot of them were, you know, they were in bad shape, and the state kind of solicited this company to come. And that's all well and good, but these people shouldn't have to pay the burden for the rest of them, nor are they in a position financially to be the type of people to pay that kind of burden. That's the problem, is some of those Great Rivers had to go increase because they had to drastically change. This is one where they're literally a middleman between Natchez Water and the people.
Mr. President, Mr. Attorney, could you find out who is our public service commissioner?
Sure.
And give me his number?
Sure.
Well, I can give him a call?
We can.
Because I seen the congressman, I say that water bill is right at $100. I seen his eyes got that big. So that means something ain't right. So give me his number. We're gonna let Great River get an opportunity to explain this again. Thank you.
I need a motion for closing.
Don't move.
Good Lord.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Gray, second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
We're gonna discuss